Welcome back. You guys are watching VCT Game Changers APAC Elite with me, Mika Fabs, and Donut here on the panel. We just saw X10 Sapphire seal their spot in the grand finals, and right now, Alter Ego Celeste has dropped to the lower bracket, and they could fight their way out of it, either facing ZOL Meraki or Bren Victress, who we're about to see face off in our second series of the day. Donut, it's kind of fitting that we're both on the panel because this is going to be painful for the both of us,
Yeah.
whichever way this goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be crying right after this match for sure because it's going to be an elimination match for both of these teams. Well, both of these teams, they have been very consistently playing all throughout the stages, right? Bren Victress got the slot during the first four opens. And then ZOL Meraki takes home the first few slots during overtime. So I guess there's a lot at stake for both of these teams. The journey of Bren Victress have been a sight to see all throughout because there might be some changes to the team, but they consistently really walk through it and really wall through everything else that they have encountered. But for the side of ZOL Meraki, I'm really seeing their what do you call that? Their ability to rise through whatever challenges they actually walk through. And we saw that last weekend, right? They were able to take on 6 whole matches and win on top of it.
That's right. Definitely a wild card, so to say. And Bren Victress, also queens in their own right. Let's take a closer look at their rosters. ZOL Meraki and Bren Victress. You know, Donut, Bren Victress, they seem to be the bane of ZOL Meraki just because these are teams that, you know, it's not new that they're facing each other here because apparently Bren Victress have always managed to beat ZOL Meraki and beat them with a 2-0 nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, they're friends actually, so they're very familiar with how each of them would play. But at least in the whole Game Changers run here in APAC, Bren Victress would always stand on top. But outside of Game Changers, there are actually wins for ZOL Meraki that they've managed to really pull through just because of all of the practices that they have done and all of the strats that they have really crafted against this team, right? But we're looking at Alexi and as well as Miha, both flexes for the team, while Miha is the initiator main for them. I feel like both of these players, they have so much to offer for the team. Their ability to frag but still maintain that support system for their teammates is just really something to watch out for.
Yeah, and I think that's especially interesting on the side of Alexi, just because she can actually go into the duelist role, which is not something a lot of, as the IGL of Bren Victress, it's not something that a lot of IGLs would do, just because of, you know, how the duelist role can sometimes give you a little bit of tunnel vision as is its nature, right? But ZOL Meraki, I think that one thing that they do seem to do, though, is that they have a tendency to become a little bit predictable. I mean, they tend to default to the same setups in like several rounds in a row, and that may be easy for Bren to catch wind of. But right now, as we're seeing our maps, it looks like we're going to Ascent. We are going to Breeze as well. ZOL, I believe ZOL Meraki picked Ascent, and Bren picked Breeze, and our decided Decider will be Bind. Now, Donut, this is interesting because I believe in one of the previous matches, Bren and ZOL did face off on Ascent and Breeze too.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is quite a surprising pick for ZOL Meraki because they know that Bren Victress is so good in this map. Their ability to take the first kill advantage here is very high, especially with now Camu as the duelist or Alexi, depending on what they would select. So this is a surprising turn of events for me, but probably this is where they have focused their energy for the past week, right? But still, Breeze is here, and pretty sure Bren Victress, they've won a lot of Breeze maps, and depending on their picks, it usually really tips in their favor. So I think we might probably go to game number 3. It would all depend on what will happen in Ascent.
Yeah, why not, right? We have three very high stakes games today. I mean, why not? Why not? I feel like, these ladies have earned it. These ladies have earned to go out on a map 3 too. But yeah, I feel like for both Bren and ZOL Meraki, we've seen this kind of matchup before. It did go 2-0 in favor of Bren. It's funny that we've seen it almost exactly because we did have Ascent and we did have Breeze. I do hope that ZOL Meraki has a game plan for this, especially since Ascent seems to be one of their not too great maps. I do think that they're very, very strong on defense, and Ascent is great for very defensive teams. But I am a little concerned that this was their map pick when they maybe could have picked other maps that they perform better on.
Yeah, but maybe it's really more of empowering their agents in the map. So it's Capricious embracing that pseudo duelist role as a chamber, or probably as a jet here. She does so well as a jet, and maybe coupled together with Camu's initiation as the KO, it could go well for them. It just has to be about stringing in the first kills, which Bren Victress always has success of. And at this point, Camu is going to be selecting the KO and Alexi as well. Controller would be for Bess, and Bess has always offered so much to the team with all of the paranoias, even when it comes to the frags. And I'm not surprised that Capricious is taking on that jet role, because they definitely need her to get these frags for them to stomp on Bren Victress.
Yeah, and I'm look at my eyes are going towards Shirazi as well. Definitely one of the players that stood out also last weekend, and Twirly on the raise too. I mean, I'm such a fan of how this girl plays duelist. She is so fearless, and she just abandons everything and just goes into the site, whether or not her team are actually ready for it. She'll just go, okay guys, just go follow me. And I just absolutely love it. I am so excited to see this, especially since this is an elimination match, Donut. This is high stakes here because it could be ZOL Meraki that we're saying goodbye to, or it could be Bren Victress. And who goes on to face Alter Ego Celeste? We're whittling down our matches here, and the stakes are getting higher and higher as the seconds tick on, as the rounds go on. Let's throw it over to our casters to get this series started. ZOL Meraki versus Bren Victress. Over to Black and Blue and Tash.
Thank you, Mika Fabs and Donut. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, far and wide, Dungeons and Dragons, wherever you are, we're back here now with the second series of the day. I am Black and Blue. With me is Tosh, ever wonderful, ever great. And we've got two Philippine teams, the last two Philippine teams remaining here in the tournament, going up against each other. Which one stands and which one falls, Tosh?
It's a really interesting story when you have a Filipino versus Filipino team, especially for you guys. Mika Fabs, Donut, and Black and Blue. I mean, you guys are all Filipino, and it must be really hard for you guys to really figure out who exactly you want to root for. Especially, as you all know, for ZOL Meraki, they have a pretty underdog story as well, where quite a new team just got to pick up for a lot of their brand new players. And as for Bren Victress, it's the opposite. They're a team that's been playing together for a long time. They are a household name there in the Philippines Game Changers. They have, I would say, an empire to uphold.
Well, I mean, if we look at historically, right, yes, ZOL has beaten Bren outside of the Game Changers, but personally, I am expecting the team with a cute manager there in the back of the end to be able to come out on top. Yes, shout outs, you know it. Bren, they start on the defense, map pick. really good for them, but Cameo opens things up. That's a great start here. That's a common play you see a lot, where the Omen smokes up one way into A main, then TP's back up to it, but ZOL, they were ready, they knew to expect it.
Cameo's always been so proactive when it comes to these aggressive plays. Very similar to what we see from Neri, but Twirly good for 2. Miha gets Ali and Dia, but Shirazi and Miha get 1 each. Capricious does fight Shirazi, and finally it's dwindled down to a 2 versus 2. And the rotates are coming through here on Ascent, but you know that in terms of rotations, Bren Victress has always been a little bit more proactive, but because they have no clue where everyone is, they go for a 1 on A and 1 for B situation, and this could be bad.
But do I? Do I really know? I'm kidding.
Wow.
It's a
Wow,
2v2,
you're getting
Josh.
comfortable with me, buddy.
It's a 2v2, Josh. 40 seconds left on the clock. Now, Twirly, she has been spectacular the last day that we saw her here. Can she find the one? No, she's giving herself away. Has to get a kill. She does! Perfect timing! Best here in the 1v1. She's really low, but so now is Twirly. A single bullet will do her on in. Doesn't connect. Have to reload. Reading between the lines. Such a thin one to cross.
Pocket full of focus! And Twirly comes out on top! It's only round 1!
Oh my goodness.
I'm stressed, man!
Round 1. But the intensity of these rounds, they cannot be understated. Twirly, absolutely huge. Whatever she might have faced, criticism-wise, on that opening day, she's bounced back. And now this opening pistol is the right way to get things started. They take this defensive pistol. And Bren Victress, it's a good start for them. Get pretty dicey, but hey, they bounce back.
Julia's already with the 4. That's insane.
It's crazy
Now?
already. Lets her farm up like half of her ultimate orbs from the get-go.
Exactly. It's great for her though, especially for this map. Can clear out so many of that multi-frags, especially on CT side, regardless. Quick entry onto B side is the way here. As you know, it's pretty much open. Now for Bren Victress, because of their gun advantage, they're okay with taking their time with this.
Yeah.
But we know that Rosie, when she's on the headhunter, she can be pocket hit. That's exactly what she wants. All the information she needs. They cannot peek 1 by 1, but she is gonna be taken down by the triple swing. And that's Shirazi with 1 more, not before Miha stops her and ZD gets Cameo off her own.
Yeah, these rounds can be difficult for them to win. They're completely pincered. And yes, Bren just roll on over ZOL Meraki there from that B main push. Still, it's a round that we don't really expect ZOL to win, but they can come back into the next. Attacking side
This is
by far the more difficult side here on Ascent, and this pick in general. You know, if you look at the statistics, actually, these two teams are neck and neck in terms of win rate, both around the 50% margin. So, both around the 50% margin generally, but when it comes over to one end of the floor, especially the defensive side, Bren are really good at winning the defensive sided rounds, so they're a bit higher. So this map definitely favoring Bren a bit more. Makes sense why this would be the opening pick.
only statistically wise.
Statistically.
And remember, we were talking about 100% win rate
On
for Haven earlier.
Oh yeah, on Haven rather.
Yeah,
For,
so
Alter Ego,
for
but then-
AE Alter Ego. So right now, in this high pressure cooker situation where you make your adobo, I believe. I think it was adobo. So this is where it gets really, really rough. I'm sorry. I really like Philippines. I miss it.
Oh, I bet. Come back, Tosh. 2-0. There's a bit of a ways to go. It's only the first map of this series, rather. ZOL Meraki, they're looking to commit to this B site. Prowler is going to give him away. Capricious can dash on in, close that switch. But look at this, Twirly!
Oh my
Absolutely
God.
huge! A double for her! Shirazi with the classic somehow finds Cameo! And Bren! How did they do it?
Bren Esports. If there was a new name for them, I name them Bren. Need for speed. These have Bren Victress, but
Yeah.
Capricious does get caught out by that knife. She doesn't get one because that swing from Alexi was still matching Shirazi. Finishes it off with a cherry on top.
Disastrous result here for ZOL Meraki. That was the map. That was the round, rather, they have to win. It's their gun round against the eco here of Bren Victress, against the bonus rather to be exact for Bren Victress. But even with whatever advantages and historically great performances Victresses have had against ZOL Meraki, these type of rounds, they can't let these ones come to pass too quick, too early.
I have to say that I absolutely know why they're doing so well.
Why?
They probably had kisses before they started. You saw what happened last week.
What are you talking about?
You didn't see Zini kiss Alexi?
Oh yeah, I did. I saw that. Okay.
I want a kiss too. Maybe my casting will be 10 times better, but not from you. That's...
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, you've heard Tosh right here. Who's gonna be the lucky...
Girl.
Girl. LFT?
Oh, man.
Tosh?
LFT. I'll ask Ish. Don't worry about that.
Well, Capricious. He's LFP, looking for pick right now, and almost finds it.
She also gets tagged, but Bess will be the one with the opening onto Twirly. This is great for them because Twirly has been the one with the aggression and the firepower for the team of Bren Victress, and Zini will be the one to replace her.
Trades out. As we saw earlier on, yeah, Shirazi took lots of damage, so single sneeze, single tap on the toe, she could go down. ZOL, little do they know, this B site is ripe for the taking. They can tell there's a trap, they can bypass it in a second, entry their way on, close down to switch. That it is. They should have a free entry onto this site and a free plant, yes. The question is, how does a post plant hold on up? Best. Oh my goodness, what a frag! That's a double for her in the round already with a Sheriff laying down the law with a quick draw.
It's a very interesting situation because when you are on that eco, the mindset that comes through is so different, and Miha is showing that to us as she gets Shirazi, Ali gets Wiley, gets two! A little bit faster with that gun, but we have Rosie on the Headhunter that does a little better, but ZD seals the deal. But the cost is 4 Vandals.
Still though, look how close ZOL Meraki brought that, and how much damage it did economically. Luckily for Bren, they've been making up bank time and time on over with these rounds, so they can comfortably buy for the next 2 rounds, including this one. Even if they lose this one, they can still buy up for the next round, so that's not going to hamper them too much. ZOL Meraki looking feisty, yes, but we just haven't seen them heat up in the rounds that matter. And this round, they absolutely have to start gaining points there for their sake. If they go into another eco state, that's going to be a quite difficult task for them.
Cover going out.
Tour de force popped. It's going to be Shirazi. High ground. They may have some spectator. And they do, but Shirazi just a little bit faster. Gets that reposition as well. Nightfall gonna give them at least some space as Alexi is gonna move backwards. But Rosie will be the one to find one. Rosie with 1, but Bess is the one with 2. Looking great for them. But look at where Twirly and Zini is coming from.
Spike planted.
You know exactly where they are now, at least. And Kamiyu finally goes down. No more null command. But this really cheeky corner played by Rosie, she's gonna be found out immediately. Finds a different way to keep inside at least, not allowing the teleport as well. But here comes the party! Unfortunately misses! Twirly still gets Miha regardless! But Twirly on her own now. It's a 1 versus 2. If she can get the isolation, but look at the cross from them. It's gonna be really hard as Bess doesn't even need help from a teammate.
Well, around here from Bess. Really giving them so much value she is on that Omen. If you guys don't know, Bess is something people here in the Philippines commonly call a close friend, like, you know, Bessie, and just call him Bess. Hey Bess, what's up Bess? So that's where it's coming from. And she's really looking like that sidekick, you know, that person that you'd want to have by you every single time, because she's so not just confident, but also consistent in being in the right position at the right time.
Get out of my way!
Knives as well are out by Capricious, and you know she can be extremely aggressive with those knives. Regardless, Shirazi not
What are you doing,
moving.
Shirazi?
And listen, it's called practice, okay? Just because you don't do it doesn't mean it doesn't work for her.
Where are you?
But if they don't check logs, it could mean death. And this is a very scary area as immediately she lets her go through. She still gets one in the end. They make it 2 for Alexi. Can she make it 3? Yes, she does! Alexi is on fire! Finally going down to Capricious! Still, the damage has been done. With 3 of her members out of the way, Camille does find the plant eventually.
Spike planted.
But how do you fare against a 3-man for those retakes? The knife does find them in the end as Capricious waiting for main. And Twirly already onto the side. Shirazi gets that up shot together with Shirazi. Up to Headhunter is exactly what they need.
She had a rifle. She didn't need to use the blades there. And
let her do what she wants, man.
But it obviously isn't optimal. Look what happens. Doesn't even come out with a kill from it. Yes, maybe in a 1v1, pull out the blades, you know, use your movement, but you kind of want that rifle. But then again, hindsight is 20/20. But this, it should have been cleared by Capricious when she enters on. Should have checked that logs as soon as she dashed on in, but wasn't able to clear it on that dash in, and so they didn't know that Alexi was still there in the logs. And you can't leave a player of her caliber, by far the top performer lately here of Bren in terms of her rating coming into this week. You can't leave her in those positions. She doesn't even pop flash herself, simply dry peeks and gets 3 out of it. So ZOL looking really lost here. It's Bren Victresses who are on the proper path to taking this.
Absolutely right. And now for ZOL, it's actually really insane, right? How just not checking one small corner can result in the demise of 3/5 of your team.
Well,
and for Bren Victress, I think that they are the type of team, if you give them an advantage, they will crumble you with it.
As you say, that Sleepy likes to say,
yeah.
Check your corners.
Are we like the Sleepy fan club now?
We always have been.
Oh no. The astronaut meme is playing in my head.
Yes. Well, ZOL Meraki turn the force out here for Rosie.
You want to play? Let's play.
These buds, these petals, they can't fall too easily. Bren Victress have this double setup here towards that short, towards that catwalk. Now he can gain information, rather. Alexi can gain that information, how close they are. Spots out 2 with that suppress, Twirly making sure her teammate can back off safely. And Bren Victress biding time, making sure they can burn as much off the clock.
Mid control is very vital for this map. So if you give Market as well, it's gonna be rough. Unless, of course, ZOL has control of the backside as well. Devastating. Go for that flanks as well. Them to be there, but look at the push from Rosie, slowly making her way up catwalk, and Alexi is already anticipating the push up toward the back of site. This is a very different situation as ZOL is trying to play that default game.
Smoke up once more here towards the tree, where they initially chose to plant themselves, but they've rescinded that control. Shirazi has a great angle here. She gives herself away though. Luckily for Bess, it was only a shoulder she exposed. Paranoia on out to clear the generator. The Shirazi drops the spike here on Cameo. Good trade out from Capricious. They can close the door now. Miha waiting on the tree. Xenia has to be careful as she addresses and comes around this corner. Mia's waiting, ready to pounce.
Stretching corner, they know that she's there. Nice cross there coming through from both teams as well. Gonna be really good for the swing if they want to. But instead of pushing forward, they hide. Alexi does find best on Miha. Finally swings out towards Zini, catches him off guard. Miha good for 2 with a wall bang! And finally, ZOL Meraki finds the answer to the complicated Rubik's Cube that is Bren Victress.
The timing there doesn't work out. Maybe if Bren Victress simply were a bit, you know, more, I guess, hindsight, yes, they tried to pull off from that hole they had towards that short, but that hole that they initially had was already pretty good. Unfortunately, don't get the right read, and sometimes that's just how the things go. That's how the cookie crumbles. It's their defense that crumbles along with it here, Bren Victress. So ZOL get the round that they desperately need. Bren Victress, though, still in control. Bunch of stingers pulled out here. Ones that we know they're capable of making quite formidable.
Shirazi is marked. That's enough information for them. I'm really liking this change in pace from ZOL Meraki. It really shows that if their rushes are not working, stay safe, play it slow, get those picks, and those opening picks have been vital! But Kamiyu will not be the one with the opening. It's gonna be Zinni that gets it, and it's unfortunate because the spike was over the mid side there. Rosie, she wants to try get that space once again, but it's really hard with those utilities. You also see the smokes coming through as well, but look at how fast they decided to go. They want to just play explosive, and they will get the smoke through, get the spike through the smoke, and just run away. Figure out a different way to play through, and it's very interesting how they've decided to take that mid side.
You know what else is interesting here? Bren Victress, they pull out this raise, which we've seen them do the first time around versus Orangutan. They're doing it once again. And having that raise on Ascent has been something we've seen gain more prevalence as the time goes on because of how teams realized influential it can be in terms of the utility it brings. They were initially going to crawl towards that B main, but now they've rotated around towards A. I'm not sure what signals this intent, what really made them make the call. They faked that smoke out towards Market. 0 Point is going to confirm Miha, but that's good. That pulls the defense away from this A site, and now allows them to take control and get the plant down.
They have to rush, but there's going to be no problem at all in terms of time. They're going to be trying to break that door, best repositioning herself, and this is really good, because when you have these deep corners, but Miha is the one just buying time for the rotation for Alexi. Regardless, here comes Nightfall. Rosie has been marked. They know exactly where she is. Pushes inside, still wins it, but the double swing from Zinni saves the day. Capricious does find Shirazi. Best finds Zinni as well. Alexi and finally finds Best. Capricious finds Ali, and Alexi still wins it out in the end. 1v1! The knife eventually not gonna find Miha. At least Tap comes through. Is she gonna push is the question. Yes, she is! And Miha, with that small little swing, will save the day.
Yeah, that late lurk. Very great value she finds. Yes, it was a 1v1, but by all means, the decay alone, and as well as deafening the opposition there from that Nightfall, is more than enough to justify its usage, and she wins a round off of it, and because of it as well. Alexi, great effort she shows to try and isolate those fights, but in the end, Miha just had the upper hand. She had the advantage in that side, in that round. And Bren Victress, they call the first time out of this series.
This is actually really good.
Actually, no, second
Don't
time out.
let them.
Oops, my bad.
This is really good because if you think about it, don't let them take too many rounds. Stop the momentum, because we all know that ZOL Meraki is as well another team that relies heavily on momentum. And once Kamiyu feels good, you look at Kamiyu, Capricious, and Bess, it can mean doom for them. So for Bren Victress this time, what can they do to stop this very early picks coming out from ZOL Meraki? How exactly are they going to navigate on how they want to play in terms of the retakes?
It's a big question to ask here, with an even bigger answer. But the response, we're going to have to wait and see for ourselves how Bren deal with this. The retake generally has been formidable. They didn't win that one, yes, but the odds were stacked against them. By the way, they didn't even start that round with full rifles. They had like 2 Spectres on their side, so still a difficult task for them to pull off. Look at this push, though. I like this push from Bren Victress. They know they don't have the advantage, so they try and make one of their own. Twirly seizes the opportunity, but Miha and Capricious shut down any advantageous positions Bren might otherwise have. And ZOL Victress, they shut down here the eco push from ZOL. Rather, other way around. ZOL, Bren, you get it.
That's a great challenge coming from them. Reading Bren Victress like a book. They know exactly what they would do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think at this point, it's already safe to anticipate that for ecos, we are going to be seeing them play aggressive. But one thing that you need to know is that the objective, the main objective for an eco is to take away as many guns as possible. Twirly has ultimate as well, so Showstopper can be popped, and Shirazi immediately knows there's at least 2 toward the mid side there, at least on main. You see the spike there? Not on anyone. They still haven't decided where exactly they want to hit. They need that opening hit, or at least some information that one site has less people to deal with than the rest.
Yeah, they want to pick and prod here, Tosh. Find which alley, which opening should be, I guess, given to them which ones they can take, really. So playing that default, have to be careful as they cross this threshold. Perfect flash though to try and deny that angle from being utilized. Backs on out to safety after the suppress comes into perfect paranoia. And to regain control of the short sight. Here comes out the one-way. Zinni doing lots of work to keep him at bay.
As for Zinni, she's just playing for time, but Shirazi is the one to quickly get that pick onto Kamyu. Swiftly, she's always been great at that op. The numbers still very much okay, winnable, at least for ZOL Meraki. But with 30 seconds left, they need to hurry.
30 seconds left.
They can't just take their time. Twirly loses this, but you need to check your corners here. There is one more. She's good for one, but not good for two. 3-3. Still very much winnable. And ZOL, 18 seconds to go, but Shirazi finds Rosie. Immediately the knife will get the suppress at least, as Capricious
10 seconds
watches
left.
over the side.
He has to go big here.
This area, and Capricious does too! What a play!
What a round from Capricious already. What a tap as well! Capricious! Absolutely delicious round! She delivers and brings ZOL to tie the game up.
It's actually insane how she was able to play that. Cool, calm, and collected. If you are gonna put Capricious in a 1-versus-1 situation, she will absolutely Shrek you.
10
Great
seconds left.
positionings from her, knowing how exactly to deal with this.
Enemy
It
remaining.
would have been better to double swing at the same time from 2 different angles.
Look at that. Absolutely tasty performance in that round. Capricious blades on out this time. Drops a rifle for his teammate to try and save a bit more economy. Null command, quite a lot committed here, I will say, but it's all due if they secure the round a bit more safely. Rosie almost catches out Alexi there, but the retake once more from Victress is to come into play.
This time, Bren Victress plays it slow to take her time, but quickly and explosively. Twirly and Lexi get one each. This is big, but Miha finds one. At least gonna be Twirly. We don't know that Capricious is playing for main. She's gonna get the pick here just with the classic. Nope, she does not, but they all are very aware that we have a very rare Capricious playing inside of main. Miha from the bottom side there, unfortunately whiffs, but her teammate is ready to band-aid the situation. Bess, all alone, pushing up. She has to get that! And the defuse does come through as finally Bren Victress pulls back.
Yeah, Victress is
Last round
able to
before the
utilize just how much you can shut down in that post-plant hold with the null command. And that's how you use a null command, right? As opposed to how ZOL Meraki used it, where they pop it when they pretty much almost had control of the site anyways. And you see them really just give their cards away too early. So, big round for them to lose. ZOL Meraki, they still have that from the shadows and the nightfall, but the showstopper here could equalize the odds for the Victresses. It's not a bad half by all means for ZOL Meraki, even if they lose this round.
65 just shows how close these two teams are. Capricious, we can tell that she's feeling really good about herself. Ricky has been absolutely insane. Does take a little bit of damage from her teammate, but she's gonna tank it. She's gonna push to catch them off guard. Good for 2. What a big ball play from her. Regardless, the Nightfall will be able to allow Kamyu to push up. The DK though, but not before. She gets one in return. Shirazi finds Rosie.
Spike planted.
She repositions, waiting for her teammates instead of pushing out alone.
What a play, Capricious.
Last player
Go for that aggression. She finds the third in the market and the shop is open. Miha sold here to the highest bidder. And Shirazi, she
Switching
takes her
sides.
life. ZOL, 6-6. They tie up the game at the end of the half. What a huge round here for ZOL Meraki to take. And man, oh man, I'm sure the panel's got something to say, Tosh, because this has been a crazy series so far.
Well, Donut, we have a series here, 6-6 on Ascent on the first map so far between ZOL Meraki and Bren Victress. And I have to say, if Capricious keeps doing that the entire series, this is looking really good for ZOL Meraki.
Definitely, I'm on the edge of my seat because initially Bren Victress had a big lead, but ZOL, they just play it slow. They play the mind games against Bren Victress, who they actually know how to play against, and they pick up the pieces. Capricious taking on these very ballsy angles, or even when it comes to the positioning, right? The angles, they're not very afraid to take on Market. Capricious just really has to set up the crossfire together with the teammate, and even that clutch for Miha started everything for ZOL Meraki. So it was really great showing for their attack. At first, of course, Bren Victress has a very good defense state here when it comes to their win rate on the defense, but it's looking like it could be anybody's game at this point in the sense. And I think they did their research well against Bren Victress.
Yeah, I have to agree. I also have to shout out like Mia and Rosie on the lurks, and not just like, you know, the typical like, you know, just sit in the corner lurks, but these are actually very, very deep lurks that can throw Bren Victress off. Suddenly their focus is all over the place because they're not sure which way to look. And I love the switch ups. I said earlier about how ZOL Meraki tend to be a little bit predictable. It doesn't look like they're doing that this time around. They're really switching things up. Plus, it's opposite ends as well. You have the very deep lurks coming in from Rosie and Miha, and then you have Capricious, who is like really in the front lines. Probably like one of the best performances that we've seen so far on this day, Donut.
Yeah, the recipes to success for the defense was actually Shirazi as the chamber. We've seen her take on these kills using the operator, but I'm not too sure how they will be able to utilize that on attack, because usually it's Alexi leading the charge for the team. She moves the same way as Capricious does in the map, wherein she does take on CT first and then repositions to market just to take that semblance of surprise attack for the team members. But I'm really looking forward how ZOL Meraki will pick up the pieces on now on the defense, because Bren, when they get aggressive, they don't really stop.
That's true, and it looks like you know, Bren on the attack, on the more aggressive side, looking good. ZOL Meraki on the defensive side, I would say I'm a bit more confident there too. So it's looking like a very, very exciting later half to this. Let's throw it back to our map with our casters, Black and Blue and Tash.
Thank you so much, Mika Fabs and Sweet Bagel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet bagel.
Yeah. Sugary
Well,
bagel.
what's my nickname?
Tosh. Hair. Hamster. I don't know.
What?
I'll find you.
Quick entry this time from Bren Victress. You know they like to make it real fast. They want to.
Good.
But oh, what? Through the smoke?
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
That was one tap.
She rolled the dice,
Spike planted.
and well, Snake Eyes she finds, but in her favor. The retake here from ZOL. She's gonna have to work on out after losing that pick to just the most uncomfortable circumstances. Shirazi would be that first contact, and now here comes ZOL on the retake, Tosh.
That wasn't one nature. It was just a tap, right? But Bren Victress, look at that. One each. You're like, it's as though they started around saying, okay guys, let's do this. One each, okay everyone?
Okay. Everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Yeah, look at that! That was new information! I thought it was a hunt!
Nah. Blindly through the
God.
smoke. She knows. She can sniff it. Smell him. Oh.
Are you
Wait.
trying to say that they didn't shower or something? Or is it that she smells really nice?
Probably the latter. She was like, hey, I know that scent. Strawberry. It's Miha.
What? It's really weird. Nice. For solidifying.
It's very... She's got really heightened senses, Shirazi. So, do not doubt.
Oh, look at that aggressive push coming in from Bren. 3 of them immediately to CT. Capricious does find Alexi, but is that enough to do anything though? As the Prowlers do trade places, and Twirly, even though with 19 HP, she fears absolutely nothing. Getting one to the face. Was that a shotgun? Oh my god.
Almost. Not really, but never enough.
I feel like my voice is getting considerably higher as the rounds go.
As the stakes increase as well.
Yes.
Well, I can't blame you. It's been an exciting day so far. Series number 1 delivering Just great moments. And so is this. Map number 1 of the second series of the day. We're going to be with you the whole day as well. Bren Victress, they're on the bonus right now, have a single Vandal in their hands, but that's more than enough, especially in the capable hands of a player like Shirazi. ZOL Meraki, full rifles abound, anti-bonus from them, one they have to win. Prowler connects, Paranoia in return, keeps him at bay. Tree is theirs though, as he's smoked off, and Cameo gets a great pick as he's isolated in the fight. Capricious, only good for one, but the response here from Bren Victress is perfect. They get 2 as well.
Really liking this buddy system Bren Victress has. Always swing together, never ever get traded out without a response. And Miha wins that one regardless. Miha with 2! What on earth? But Bez is the one to seal the deal. Even though they lost so many, but when you have capable best friends like Bez and Miha, that is all you need.
The best in the West.
Exactly.
Making things close. Bren Victress early on, but ultimately outgunned, and then eventually outmanned. ZOL Meraki here to get the round they need to, cut the lead down to a single round. ZOL Meraki, they've got the Guardian in the hands of Cameo, who has been really finding herself struggling, not just in
Cover going out.
I guess fragging, but some of her utility usage hasn't been super great, although there are other moments that were a stark contrast. So the consistency of her high-level utility usage is what they're struggling to find so far. It hasn't been her map so far today. But Victress, they want those opportunities. Perfect flash on the swing. They've taken control now of A main here.
For Capricious, this time they changed the way they play. They can play aggressive twice, but you can't fool someone thrice. So they play a little bit more safe this time. That's to change up the pacing of the game.
Here.
And so long as
Careful
ZOL
there.
Meraki can dictate what kind of pace each round goes, it'll be really great for them. They know there's at least someone inside of main, but no clue how many is the problem. Haunt not gonna get any value onto mid side. And suddenly it feels like the whole map is on a standstill, but look at how many are on mid. They need to establish this mid control. They have it full toward market, but logs is where you really want to check. And that's exactly where Alexi found someone. Shirazi will be clearing that out. She learned from Alexi the best.
Shirazi, great find. This round, they've taken it to their favor, but low HP on 2 players here from Bren Victress is going to be dangerous. Flash on now to try and regain control while they're on that retake. Cameo, big find she gets. Alexi though, on the flank, on that lurk, now cuts off another avenue of safety here for ZOL Meraki. Capricious, trapped there on the switch, has to be careful from the flank. Let me go, because Zinni, she knows that this round should be theirs. Capricious gets shut down, and they take the round. Bren Victress, they take and extend their lead back up to 2. What a response here. They give up 1, but they make sure that doesn't continue on further.
You've seen this trades on trades has been absolutely phenomenal from both teams. But Alexi's flanks and timings have been really, really good. They're not allowing Bren Victress to take so many rounds in a row. I'm really liking this tug of war that's happening between these 2 teams. But this time, Capricious has those knives, and if she goes aggressive, Bren Victress has to be careful.
Well, the dash here by Capricious, certainly no holds barred, no care in the world, and she faces the problems that she's only demised for herself. Goes down. I like the intent though, but maybe there should have been another flash to try and accompany that when she was going to go deep on in towards that lobby. Zinni, he's found the information here. But ZOL Meraki, it's going to be difficult for them to win these fights. Rosie, maybe she can get a pick off, but nah, it doesn't come to pass. Jinxed, blame the caster, B&B, what have you done? They go down. Bess, he follows suit, a flawless round as Bren Victress, they mop the floor so far in that round of ZOL Meraki. Now here comes out the operator. Something we know Rosie is very capable of making so formidable to its fullest extent here, time and time on over. Miha with that Nightfall. Cameo with the Null Command. These are ultimates that are high impact, but yes, the problem is, the question remains, if they can use it
Bring them down.
in proper timing, because they've had these tools. Which ones they pull out and the timing of it just hasn't been working out for them so far. Rosie, a glass cannon in all senses of the word. No armor, operator doesn't connect, and now they've given away that she has that op in her hands. Null command on out. They can burn it here. The Prowler connects. Gives away at least the position here that they've crawled up towards that pizza. Want to make sure the brick oven isn't overheating.
Wow, you must be really hungry.
Oh,
but here comes the null command for the aggression. Rosie nearly gets taken down, but Bess with two. What a great recovery! Not before Zini finds her though. Regardless, Alexi as well finds Miha mid-rotation. This aggressive Alexi is looking very, very good. But eventually, Kamiyu will shut her down. And now that the spike is down, they have to try their best to at least get onto the site, but these crossfires from Zinni and Twirly can be very, very dangerous.
Alexi's so good at placing herself in those positions. Fragment to flush out the corner. Null command as well to make sure there's no utility thrown back in return. Twirly, huge pick on Cameo! 1v2, it's on the Capricious and through the wall! Zinni secures it! What a round here from Bren Victress! And ZOL Meraki! They're crumbling here at the seams, being torn apart piece by piece.
So insane! That play from Bess absolutely stole my attention. When you think you won big, from the shadows comes out Bess. But the bandit solution from Alexi with that timing on the rotation has been phenomenal. Bren Victor's doing very well with those.
And Alexi, she has been so good in really catching off the rotations here of ZOL. Such a consistent player. The amount of high fragging capability and in-game leadership, as well as just game sense from this player, is absolutely astounding considering how much is on her shoulders. Paranoia to flush him on out, but now they know Bess is there and wine. They can keep on sipping, but he's able to TP out in safety.
Bren Victress.
Bomb buddy out.
Suddenly they cut the noise. But that boombot just tells enough to them. At least anticipate one. But look at where the other three are. They're trying to catch that mid-rotates coming through from ZOL Meraki that usually happens. But this knife, as well as the smoke, it's just buying them time. But you always can expect from Bren Victress that they can do this explosive fast plays. Kind of what we see from X10S. Regardless, that knife will find them eventually, gets the tag, but not enough to take someone down. But here's Kamiyu playing it very sneaky behind the boxes.
30 seconds
But
left.
look at here, the B main, they are ready as Rosie gets one with the Headhunter. Who needs a tour de force? A Headhunter does the job just as fine. And they're going to be pushing out, but you have a teammate waiting for you on the side. Rosie as well. That is absolutely nasty.
Perfectly played here. And ZOL Meraki, that was a great from the
10
shadow
seconds
step
left.
here. Like, Bess is able to pull out to go back to that boathouse. Time? No, she doesn't have enough time to get the spike down. She's just like 0.2 seconds short. He started planting at like what, 0.32? 3.2? You need like 3.5, 6 really to be sure. 7 actually, to get that plant down safely. So just a few milliseconds off of that. They're not able to get the spike down, unfortunately. So Bren Victress is, I think this is their timeout to be called. But ZOL, what a recovery from that round.
For Bren Victress, they need to make sure that every round is not given too much to ZOL Meraki. In all those situations that you see between these two teams, it's very rare to have more than 2 people still alive at the end. It's very, very competitive, and it's what's more insane is the fact that ZOL Meraki, from the beginning of this tournament all the way till now, you've seen how much they've learned and grown. You've seen their mid-game recovery look so good. And especially when you see Miha and Bess, they're just so great for that mid-round recovery, band-aid situations. It's actually been so insane. But as for the side of Bren Victress, Alexi's aggression as a KO, as well as her rotate timing, has been phenomenal for the team in terms of getting that chokehold onto the enemy team.
The suffocating nature of how ZOL Meraki play. That is what's really been their one winning point in these rounds. When it comes to the scramble, when chaos ensues, they make sure to capitalize off of it.
You want to play? Let's play.
Turn the force on out for her. Quick push though here from the Bren Victresses towards his B side. Haunt to try and push him on back. Capricious finds a one. The Twirly knows that she's done. She finds him in that switch. Here comes out Rosie though, who's nullified. So Brass can't use her Tour de Force. Twirly big frag, but Cameo responds.
One enemy remaining.
And coming through here, Cameo still gets one. That fragment not enough to put Ali out of the way. Regardless, she pushes forward 1 versus 2. She knows exactly where Bess is. She's already primed and ready, but that smoke is gonna make it very, very hard to see. They know that she has repositioned herself.
Uh-oh.
They're playing ring around the Rosie, but Rosie says no pocket.
Smart decision here by Ali to go towards that lane, but unfortunately, for her at least, you can see they're at the ready. Bren Victress. They didn't expect ZOL Meraki to be anticipating that. Cameo, great double frag she finds. Flushes out the plant potentially with that fragment, but Rosie, just so good. And the petals fall in their favor.
ZOL is really trying hard to stop that match point. Some teams, when they get match point, their minds go into 2 different situations. One, they play in a way that is just so hard to break. But another, they can kind of get a little bit too eager, and that can turn to their downfall. Not there quite yet though, but the team does find Cameo in the end, repositions, but the DK plus that pain shells is so painful, but not enough to bring her down! They definitely heard that flash as well.
Yeah.
They're taking their time. But look at where Rosie has positioned herself. Through mid. They also have that trademark there. It's going to be a very deadly combination.
I think you might have heard the rendezvous being placed on down. Twirly shut down immediately!
No!
The show stops! They change the channel! Cameo, what a pickoff!
Not allowing her at all to set that off. As Alexi pushing up, playing the very aggressive stance here. She wants to stop the mid-rotation swinging through. But Rosie wasn't fooled! She knows! Who knows? She does not
30
hit
seconds left.
whether a hit hunter or drop.
Smart of her to pull back into safety, into a much more defendable position. Cameo is a great spot to try and catch him off guard. That's good for one. She finds the second on the generator, just creating her own noise and energy. This round, it should be done. Shirazi left in the 1v4, and Rosie brings her to the floor. 11-10. ZOL cut the lead down to a single round.
Look at that! 4 players still very much alive! These are just insane mind games from ZOL Meraki. How they use their utils to just play around, make Bren Victress overthink, making them think like, oh, there's probably no one there still. It's actually very scary when you're put into this situation. You start to overthink, and every single round feels like a mistake.
Well, we know Bren Victress, they're one of the teams with very strong mental and locking things down, so they know these type of situations are never out of the count. Suppress on suppress. They go 1 for 1, but Cameo, she sends Twirly to the dirt, sends her down. That's a big pick off to find.
Cameo has been absolutely insane with those big picks, opening-wise.
Yeah.
She never misses. She's always primed and ready.
It's twice now she's found Twirly. First and foremost, at the opening start of the round.
Cover going
She
out.
got Twirly before she could even pop her showstopper. It's absolutely insane. Bess gets found out by Alexi, as well as that fragment. It's really hard to get out of there. Knife as well, showing everyone where they are, but look at that. They're not allowing the zoning to come in as well. Alexi playing this very nasty corner. 31 HP left. Throws the flash, but doesn't really matter. Cameo is ready to expect it. Teleport comes in. Capricious, ready for Zinni. Trades out with Shirazi. Ellie gets one, but Rosie finds her in the meantime. And Shirazi is all alone. She finds one. She finds two. Not quite, as Rosie will save the day, bringing them to an 11-11. Are we going to be seeing the second overtime of the day?
It came down to a Headhunter v Headhunter fight. Seek and destroy. Rosie found her mark and took ahead. 11-11. And now the lead, it's dead. They've tied the game on up. ZOL Meraki. What a recovery. What a response. This defensive side, the favored side here in Ascent, giving them all the favors that they need. The time being bled, just not working out for Victress. And their post plant, that's twice now it's been dismantled here by ZOL Meraki. This is looking disastrous.
Hey, black and blue.
Yeah.
It's 11-11. Gotta make a wish.
If I say it, it might not come true.
For sure.
Like a
But
birthday.
we all know it.
Here.
What's your problem?
My birthday is on Tuesday, though. That's the funniest
Is it?
part.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Advance happy birthday.
Auntie about to become a grandma, but Rosie says, Ginny, you'll be found first. Make it two. Rosie is feeling so good right now. Can she get it 3? Yes,
Oh
she
my
can.
goodness.
Rosie, what is going on?
Ring around. You know what it ends. ZOL Meraki, this should be
Watching
them
you.
securing match point. A deadly consequence for Bren
Watching
Victress. For them to start on that defensive side. They get really a difficult proposition to close out this map on the attacking side. Something never too favorable for any team. On the swing though, Ali caught out in the open by the opposing Fade. And she's simply just shredded down. Twirly follows suit. ZOL Meraki, they take match point here after coming back 5 rounds straight.
It's insane how they played that cross just now, but Rosie was even better. You give Rosie an op and you allow her to isolate you and play 1-on-1. How many times has she missed a headhunter? Has she missed an op shot? Has she missed a tour de force? After the round switched, it's as though her brain also switched as well.
Whoa.
Like she went super Saiyan mode.
She definitely has stepped up to the plate and knocked it out of the park. Null command here to try and enter on the side. They want to take things by force. But Bass, oh my god, absolutely huge! 1v4, 1v3! It's all on the Twirly to spin this round around in her favor. Now's the time to go though, little does she know. Because the only player on site is Rosie. She's isolated. Twirly gets that one, could follow up on the second, gets the second, what a round this would be! But Mihao would secure the round! And she gets the game! Map number 1 in ZOL Meraki's name!
ZOL Meraki, the team with 3 brand new players coming together to show us what they've got. In the beginning, we were all questioning, was it a good idea to bring so many members in at the same time in such a short amount of time? And the answer is, why not? They made it work!
Well, if there's anything that we can take, from real life, sometimes when a bunch of people come together, that honeymoon phase is the sweetest moments of their time, and that is what it's looking like to be here for ZOL Meraki. To look so on point, and the mental fortitude for them to come back into this game after they were in the deficit, that is absolutely huge for them moving on forward. They take the opening map, which is what you need when you're the underdogs. But I want to hear what our hosts and our panel has got to say about this game.
What else is there to say? My goodness, ZOL Meraki are playing out of their minds here. Donut, and I have to say, sure, their map pick was Ascent and all that, but I feel like it was just more of them playing in an environment where they were comfortable because Bess played out of her mind. Rosie had one of the best performances that I've seen so far, Donut.
Yeah, we were wrong to judge why they selected Ascent. They're showing us why they picked it for a reason. I mean, Bren Victress, for the first few rounds, they were showing us, okay, you might have picked this, but we're good at this map. But ZOL Meraki, they had all of these cards shown at the very end of all of this match. And what I really appreciated about this is Capricia showing up whenever needed. And as well as, it's not just her, it's Rosie as well, giving us a great time and showing us why she is gonna be the chamber, because their initial selection here in Ascent is different. They had a cameo as the Jet, while Capricious play the chamber. But the switch up worked so well for them. And look at this shot from Rosie. She wasn't even afraid to take the third one. And Bess is so stellar with all of these rifle kills.
It's crazy, and Miha as well. You know, if your eyes aren't on Bess, who surprised you out of the blue, and your eyes aren't on Rosie, who's holding a really long angle, somehow gets an impossible shot. If your eyes aren't on Capricious, who is dashing onto the side, getting 4K or something, they're not on Miha, who is flanking from all the way in the back. It's insane. And considering that Meraki again is our dark horse, it's our wild card for VCT Game Changers APAC Elite. Now, I do want to flip the question though, Donut, because I think it was a difference with regards to KOs here. Because sure, Camille, I think we've seen her in better days and stuff, but the KO on the side of Meraki works so much better on the KO on the side of Bren Victress, because it seems like Meraki, after the first few rounds, already adjusted to Bren, to Bren's KO, said that, okay, fine, we won't actually, deal with any utilities. It's fine. We don't need it.
Yeah, it's just really playing the angles, right? And waiting for them to come in. And I think that's what Camille was able to offer. Yes, the frags weren't really there as high, but her use of utilities, just throwing in that suppression blade, not making sure that there aren't any more utilities to be thrown at them as they take on the retake. I think that's what's great about Camille. I think also the impact frags that she was able to offer there was shutting down Twirly each and every round. I think there were about 3 rounds wherein her kills, even though it's slow in terms of KDA ratio, it was all impactful.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the raise was as impressive or as impactful as I thought it would be here on Ascent. It might, Bren Victress might need some time to really rethink that, but they won't have much though. We're going into a quick break, but when we come back, we're going straight into Breeze for map number 2.
last night. Now you're lying in my bed. Must have been a dream last night, but I can hear what you're saying. You were shot to death last night. Where's my cup of coffee? I was dreaming something bad last night. Can't you hear what I'm saying? One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you. Two gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you. You were shot to death last night, and I thought of someone else. Didn't care about your life last night, at least less than about his. All our dreams were shot to death last night. I see the clock stand still. Nightmares at your heart sometimes, but this is unbelievable. One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you. Two gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you.
Welcome back, guys, to VCT Game Changers APAC Elite. You're back here on our virtual desk with me, Mika Fabs, and Donut. And now the score is 1-0 in favor of surprise, ZOL Meraki. We've deleted our scripts for today. Nobody's following that right now, Donut, because we're heading into map 2, Breeze, and you know what I'm thinking? Bren, this is their map pick. They perform really well on this map, but if Rosie keeps doing what she's doing, this does not look good for Bren.
Yeah, definitely. Even best, right? With how she plays her own game, I expect her to take on all of these duels because even if it's impossible, an impossible shot from long range or even from a very small sliver of space, she takes a headshot. And Bess doesn't just take one, she takes two with her all of the time. And her impact within the map of Ascent is just really shown as the Omen. So I'm quite curious to see if she is gonna take on the controller role, or will there be another mix-up? Because Rosie usually plays the KO, and as well as Capricious as the chamber. So with this change of pace, I see that they're very comfortable now in the map of Ascent. So I hope they do select their comfort picks in Breeze so that they have a chance against Bren, who has so much to offer in this map. I think this is their best map so far, and they choose this always in these best of threes.
Yeah, this is pretty much Bren's home court, so to say. But you know, I kind of don't want to write it off too much because we assumed that, I mean, we saw this matchup happen before wherein ZOL Meraki went up against Bren Victress on Ascent and then on Breeze. However, the results are very, very different. Yes, that was some time ago. And as we've seen from last weekend, ZOL Meraki can evolve in just a span of a day. And looking at what we're seeing right now, they've come very prepared to go up against Bren Victress. And again, I just have to point out to Rosie because I can't believe that she's playing on a laptop and she's playing those kinds of angles on the chamber. I mean, I've also had my experience just playing on a laptop and stuff. It's really hard. You're not expected to play like that, but this girl is amazing.
yeah, it goes to show her skill in game. Even if hardware is a concern, right? It doesn't let her stop her anyway. She delivers all of the frags. We expected her to be at least a second or third frag in terms of the scoreboard, which was very much impossible to get at this stage of APAC Elite. But I mean, I'm looking forward to her playing as a chamber yet again. I'm pretty sure that she will, because I think it's a head-to-head between her and Shirazi. Shirazi offered so much with that operator, but during the attack, apart from the kill that she got through the smoke, I didn't really see so much of that impact from her. So I'm really taking a little bit of my. I'm not saying I'm predicting, but I'm just really saying that the impact of both Rosie and Bess will get them long through that long journey in Breeze.
Yeah, and I love the disclaimer. We're just not saying anything, we're not cursing anything, just spitting out facts or opinions as we see it. And speaking of which, I do have to flip it around this time to Bren Victress. There now I have a lot of questions in my head. I do think that, of course, coming off of the earlier map, they're probably not feeling too good. I am concerned with regards to like whether they can keep up the the morale, keep up the morale for their team, and as well as going into Breeze, I'm prepared for a lot of surprises as well. I think that if ZOL Meraki did their homework very well on Ascent, they've also done the same on something like Breeze because they probably expected Brent to pick this.
Yeah, definitely. With how Bren Victress plays this map, they play so forward, and I would expect the duo between Alexi and Twirly to come forth here. With Twirly being the Jet, and then as well as Alexi being either that Sky or that KO, because that duo works so well. And I think we saw bits and pieces of that in Ascent, wherein they took on all of these rounds, not unless, of course, there's one from ZOL Meraki to stop the duo from blooming more of these kills. And confirmed here that Alexi will be selecting the Sky and as well as Twirly as that Jet. But the counter isn't really seen here except for Rosie playing that KO to try and maybe suppress, control Alexi and Twirly's aggression.
Yeah, I love the switch now. Now it's Rosie on the KO and now it's Camille on the chamber. And now it's like I love, by the way, how ZOL Meraki are really switch things up. It's like you might have a good game on chamber in one map, but then we're not gonna let the enemy team breathe that onto the second map, especially since this is the home court of Bren Victress. So gonna be really, really exciting. I'm not saying I'm cursing this or anything, disclaimer as well. I think this deserves to go to a map 3 with what we've been seeing, but first let's head on over to Breeze with our casters Black and Blue and Tash.
Deserves to go to a map 3, I agree. Let them fight till the very end for their spot here to the Grand Finals, to VCT Game Changers APAC Elite Grand Finals. Tash running alongside Black and Blue here. And for Breeze, it's a very big map, but not very relaxing as, the beach shows.
Well, I disagree. I like Breeze. I like the winds that gives, the vibes.
You do?
Yeah, and it's really good, especially for the mental.
You're a Breeze enjoyer like me?
Do you not like the beach, Tosh? Are you one of those city folk who do not like outside in nature?
No, hang on. I like Breeze because of the tap-taps.
I like Breeze. I actually, not unironically, like Breeze, especially when it came out. But we'll say that maybe this would help the mental of Bren, since, they lost a map that was almost theirs. They were such in a big lead. Now they get to go to a more comfortable area with the sands, the waves, and the breeze here on this map that maybe will help them out. But more importantly, this is their map pick. That's a serious thing. This is their map pick. Much higher win percentage disparity on this map, at least, and that could help them on out moving forward. But ZOL Meraki, these type of maps, ones that are big and widespread, those are good for, a lot of individuality to come out and out. And that's what we really have been seeing from ZOL. Just huge superstar plays coming out from these girls.
You know what's really interesting? Their choice of agents. You see here, the difference is basically only in their initiator. It's either a KO or a Sky. Personally, I'm a big fan of the KO, just because of how much space of information that the KO can get either close or far. But for that fast initiation, Sky will be a little bit more up my alley, but it's going to be Kamiyu with a double so quick. She's on fire. She's really feeling it from the beginning. Kamiyu pushing up immediately. She has full control of halls, and she is feeling good enough to get those hits toward the side of A.
You know, I was about to question, because Rosie and Kamiyu, they switch roles on over right now, right? On Ascent, it was Kamiyu on the KO with Rosie being on that chamber, and they did pretty well on either end. But now they switch on up, and still, Kamiyu, absolutely spectacular. She starts this map off with this round. 2 picks with the Headhunter, and 2 bullets as well, just given up. So, still, ZOL Meraki, huge advantage. They gain early on. Bren, Victress, if they can find Miha here, it's going to be great for them.
Nearly walks into that shock dart.
Oh.
Shirazi takes over. I don't know if she noticed that there was someone up there on Nest. Or I'm not sure if Nest saw them, but Shirazi coming on inside immediately. Rosie reacts, but here's Capricious as well. The information has been said, and there's one more. Capricious with 2. Very good, flawless round. It's only round number 1. We were just talking about how stressed we are in that previous map about how close it is, but this one is much more flawless for ZOL Meraki's start.
Wow. And ZOL Meraki, they have absolutely catapulted and just gained and improved so much with the little experience that they've had coming up into this tournament, at least as a team, as a full cohesive unit. They are so impressive right now in how they play these rounds and really catching lots of people off guard. We were, you know, in our talk before this entire event started, a lot of the casters did put ZOL Meraki as one of those dark horses that can really shake up the predictions. And they're proving to do so, at least after map number 1.
It's because it's so hard to really figure them out. They're so new and coming already with the opening. Alexi saying that that's enough from you, but Miha says that's enough from you as well. Regardless, this battle of the marshals making it so hard to really hold an area. But this trade on trade from Rosie as well finds Zinni in the end. Shirazi only with a classic, but doesn't really matter. Capricious has the Spectre. Ellie pushing up. She is scared of nothing, but Rosie with the gun advantage gonna seal the deal, and they only lost Kamiyu in the process.
Wow, clean round here once more from ZOL Meraki, but we expect that, especially in a map like Breeze, right? It's very difficult to convert these eco rounds on a map like Breeze, where the ranges of engagement are so much more farther and extended compared to other maps. So, makes sense. The Marshal just completely shredding them on down. Nothing we don't expect here. The only kill that they really found was off of that flash. And that, I guess, is what it does give you, right? Being on that sky, you have a bit more quicker flash, you have a bit more control on where it goes and the information you can gather with it. And that consistent barrage of information is what Bren Victresses want to play off of here. They go all towards the A site, but the entirety of Bren is towards B, so a big yin and yang here to start things off.
Trailblazer will make its way inside the site. You know it's completely free. They were all stacked on A. The question is for retakes this time. Look at how exactly they've put these smokes. The Viper wall, making it hard. You can't really have access toward cave, or tunnel rather, but Shirazi is ready. She gets one, for Rosie shuts her off. For now, they're taking their time. We all know that the jet smoke does not last long. And Ellie flushed out of her little corner. All they can do is just play it safe. They don't have to peek too aggressively if they don't have to. But it's going to be really bad as Capricious with the free upgrade finds Ali. Alexi will get 2. Trolley gets 1 as well. Looking real good. They need to shut down this aggression as well as momentum. And they take it back 2-1.
Yeah. Come in from behind. Completely just taking every lane back into the site. And now ZOL Meraki, they get trapped within their own anchor. A round now that they have to play in terms of the rifles, their arsenal they bring into it for ZOL Meraki here. And Bren Victresses, they get the round they're supposed to win. As we know, those type of ecos and bonuses so difficult to convert on a map like Breeze. But now, it's all equal. Rosie already has her null command here coming to round 4.
Get this aggression coming out from ZOL. They know that they're on equal footing. And they really want that opening pick. It looks really good. Every time Miha or Kamiyu gets the opening pick, immediately you see a reaction of aggression coming through from ZOL Meraki. Because they know they can overwhelm in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
Instead of just waiting back patiently.
That overwhelming, that swarming factor that we saw. We talked about it on Ascent, and we saw how much it benefited them. Really turning things in their favor. But now, mid-control, heavily in the hands of ZOL Meraki. But Bren Victress, they're taking the elbow. And they can hit them on the chin if they're not careful. They can just circumvent them and catch ZOL off guard, who are deep down in mid.
That chin comment caught me off guard.
You know, it's like the UFC, Muay Thai.
Well,
Use
you
your
know what
elbows.
you've been watching recently.
Oh, definitely.
But look at how aggressive Capricious is. Full control of mid pillar. This map control that ZOL Meraki has is absolutely insane.
30
This is
seconds
actually
left.
really good because when you have this early information as well as those picks, it's really easy to convert in terms of rotations. And immediately, we want to see this explosive sort of come-ins. It's going to be twirly, not the fastest I've ever seen. Regardless, they still do get the site. Capricious does find Alexi in the end, and Best finds one as well. Shirazi finds Camus, but Rosie will get two. Karozi feeling real good, but Zini finds Rosie, and Best seals the deal. Looking real good. Gets the revive as well onto her teammate.
That's so unfortunate there for Bren Victress. They had two options when they left Alexi there, right? On how to play her lurk. One, she could go in, maybe make a bunch of noise, and pull the rotation of the defense towards that B site, and then the rest of the push on Bren Victress can go on towards the A site, where it's a lot more clear because Alexi's pulled the defense towards the B site of the map, or they can let Bren Victress go into the A site, and Alexi will simply lurk, hide her intent, hide her position, and then get a pick off to cut off the rotate towards mid. But she gave her position away, but without pulling as well the rotation towards her side. So they got the worst of both worlds going towards them, and that just really made the round so much more easy to secure for ZOL Meraki. Small mistake, but those have huge consequences here, those micro moments.
Map control is just too much, honestly. But Miha, what? There is no way that she should have won that, but she did in the end, regardless. Camille, she doesn't really mind. She knows that the push will come through, but Alexi one taps her away, at least equalizing the situation. But Shirazi, her HP is so very low. In this eco round, you do want to take as many guns as you can back from the enemy team, but Rosie with the pop flash doesn't spot anyone out there, but look who is right underneath, waiting for the right opportune moment to push up here.
Miha's low.
So Lexi, she does not spot Miha just yet. Timing not on her side. Unfortunate as Zini and Bess get one each. Sprays from Bess as well, giving her two. One more person to worry about. It's gonna be Allie. She gets the tap. Yes. No, she doesn't. Rosie. She is a whole different person ever since she joined. She got the 3K in the last round.
So difficult on these eco rounds to convert them. And Alexi, it was a much better lurk there that time. Just unfortunate that she couldn't find the timing going her way, because she almost was able to take down Miha there if she just looked the right way. Miha was one bullet away from death. Could have been a much more proficient end and turnaround there. It just doesn't go her way. But Bren Victress, they have a round to play here. This attacking side, they have to start gaining points and gaining rounds, Tosh, because this is the favorite side here on Breeze.
It would be so ironic if they do well on defense.
You know, sometimes teams do. Like on Breeze, like much better for some reason on their defense than they do their attack. But I think statistically, if we look at the numbers, that isn't all necessarily true. On Breeze for Bren, as it's usually their attacking side. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. It's their defensive side. Let me look at the numbers. Yeah, no, their attacking side is much more favorable. So
Yeah.
they better start winning. That's a 65% win rate on their attack compared to their 45. So a negative, if anything. That's not a good sign if you're Bren
It really
Victress.
isn't. But you have to really give it to ZOL Meraki. Their aggressive stance in getting map control has been phenomenal for them. This is all just a game of information for ZOL Meraki, and because they get that instant either instant opening pick or they get the information that someone is passing by, you will see them rotate accordingly. It's almost like clockwork as to how they react to information, how they take up space. Capricious is not afraid to play alone at mid. You can tell she feels really good. She's already popped the knives and she's already pushing up. As for Bren Victress, this is the time where things get really, really seedy. As right now, Bess, she gets splashed, but she's not scared. She didn't even move. Rosie finds Shirazi immediately upon that contact. And Bess gives up space, but does it really matter when they can get all the information they want with that? And Capricious, that's a very high updraft. Still gets Twirly in the end. She's still ready for more fire. Okay, Bess stops her. And Ali and Bess down to 1-1. And finally, Ali, she takes it back before they go too far. And I'm curious to know what exactly did they talk about during that timeout?
Huge round there for Bren Victress, getting their heads back into the game. But Capricious, from high up above, that was her first kill of this entire map, by the way. And we're 6 rounds in. So she hasn't exactly been having herself a great game. Not that the team has suffered for it just yet. But you need to see her start to heat on up, especially knowing it how things are really crumbling. Sorry, that was Twirly's first kill, rather, of the game.
Let's play.
They need to start seeing her really gain more value out of her lives. Camu holding down. She actually gets that tag through the wall. Not enough, though.
5 HP left. Has to play it real safe. Taps come through from Miha. Gonna try and get some information. Twirly going fast, coming in from tunnel. She already has that space, but she doesn't clear the other side. But Alexi ready to trade it out. Anti-flash ready for Rosie. Plant comes through. You can see the Viper walls as well as Twirly immediately finds Rosie. She's finally feeling good about herself. And Alexi playing this very aggressive corner. I love seeing these corners because it's always very, very punishing if you don't check it. But Capricious coming in from Ness, waiting for her teammates to rotate together, getting the cross if possible.
Looking like a pretty secured round already here for Bren Victress. The tap away from Twirly keeps her head spinning here, Bess. This round is done, conceded. Capricious knows all she's got to do here is save the rifle. There's no real chance to bring back the 1v5, not in this case. And look at Bren Victress and their ultimate economy. 4 ultimates to continue this streak. This is the 2nd round in a row now they've won, and they can make it a 3rd.
She might get 2 here. Capricious is ready. Oh, unfortunately whiffs, but Shirazi with a great recovery with that positioning. We're starting to see Bren Victress crawl back around. 2 in a row now. It's looking real good.
Very, very nice recovery here from Bren that they're showing in these past 2 rounds. Relatively clean round, all things considered. Zinni is really counting her luck with how she was able to get away from that one. She should have been dead. She was dead to rights there by Camu. It still came out on top.
No one is supposed to double dip like that. No one, and she got away with it.
So fortunately, Camu couldn't hit her. Little did she know, maybe Camu, if she just swapped to her classic and right-clicked, probably would have secured the kill, but wasn't exactly sure if she did tag him or not, tag her or not. So Bren Victress.
They know that they're inside halls is the question.
That is the question. Now they do, though.
Now they do.
Yep.
Now they do.
Wall on up,
but she's
counter
already
flash.
inside so fast by Rosie, a little bit faster on that.
Look at this.
Ali trying to make some space. She does get Bess in the end. Rosie still gets one, though, even through the flash. Doesn't really matter. Capricious playing this corner. Bren Victress, they have to check your corners. She does get it, but Rosie with the 3K. Can she shut her down? She does. Ali has to play a 1 versus 2 here with Miha and Camu.
Exemplary round there coming in from Rosie. Goes on the rotate. This is not unwinnable here from Ali. We've seen her clutch things out in the past. She's going to have to bring us a bit more of that magic once more. She's got HP to work with. No Hunter's Fury, though, to play that post plant with. She's got the shock darts, but you don't want to try and play for a lineup here. You want to go a bit aggressive and take a 1v1 to isolate it down, then actually bring it to a 1v1. So, looking for an early pick is what she has to do here.
Take flight.
If she can avoid being seen by the Aldrone, it'll make things a little bit better for her. It looks like she can. Aldrone does expire in the end. Regardless, she does have a recon, but using it will absolutely show exactly where she is. She's primed and ready for
That's
that corner.
huge.
She does get it. Now she knows exactly where she is. She also heard the recon being broken. All she has to do is play for time. Kamiyu is just sticking it right now. She gets it halfway and she wins it in the end. That confidence from Kamiyu is looking so good.
She was playing that so well there, Ali, knowing to keep her position hidden up until she gets a pick, up until she gives herself away. She gets that kill, brings it down to the 1v1 versus Kamiyu, but simply, small mistake there. She trips over the brick, and it gives away position. You hear her step because of that trip on the brick, and that's why Kamiyu gets forced off of the defuse. That's so unfortunate here. She gets tripped up on a small ledge and gives her position away.
Momentum is probably back in ZOL Meraki's hands. As for Bren, they said it's fine. Change up the pace of how we play. Go fast through the lane. But look at this from the backside. Miha already with the Hunter's Fury. Does tag a little bit of HP, but not enough to actually chase them off the site. Regardless, there are some heals. Zini finds Rosie in the end. Alexi playing emo corner here. They don't spot anyone just yet. Have to be very careful. Surely through the smoke, spots out her gun barrel properly. But now Zini aggressively pushing out through main. Finds Capricious. Alexi finds Miha best. But Ali, good for the band-aid. This is one of the most dominating wins that Bren Victress had on this map.
And they need one of those type of rounds here, Tosh, to be able to come back into this with confidence. Because it seems to be soothing away from them. But now finally, they get one of these rounds, a full gun round win for them in a pretty decisive fashion, and one that they're able to circumvent the ultimate that was thrown their way. Hunter's Fury does damage, but as you said, they got the heal back up. That's one advantage that Sky does give you, right? Especially when you go in those scrambles in the post plant, you want to get back everybody up to speed. Flash on out, doesn't really connect though, and they shut them down on that push.
I can't use that.
It is their eco, so what they were kind of banking for was this very aggressive situation, and Alexi gets the bite onto her with the Trailblazer. Twirly, when she has the space, it's very dangerous, but Zinni is ready for the flanks. There is one more, and they are very aware of it. It's gonna be Miha. There's two of them here. They can swing together if they need be, and Alexi still wins it regardless. And look at that, Alexi also has the Seekers for the next round.
Incredible round here. Once again, clean, flawless, low HPS, but hey, they come out of it on top. Great shutdowns here from Bren Victress on that opening attempt towards a cave push. They send him back to the Stone Age. ZOL call timeout.
Why the Stone Age?
Because they were in cave, you know, cavemen.
Oh.
Get it?
No! He's a dad joker, no!
Yes. Hello. You want another one?
No, please no.
You can't take it.
Results. I was gonna change the subject. God dang it. Oh man, but I was gonna say that Bren Victress stopping this very aggressive momentum coming in from ZOL Meraki has been insane. I don't know what exactly went through their mind in terms of how they've been playing, but you see this aggressive sort of plays coming in from Lexi. She has been leading the charge. And with the hard intel gotten from Ali as well, the reaction time has been insane. And finally, Twirly finding her momentum, all she needed was that hard information. And then finally, she's back in the game.
To have that info play, that is what Bren Victress, they have that just a bit more over, you know, ZOL Meraki, because of that Sky compared to the KO. Now, KO, yes, gathers information, but only has that one ability to gather that information into 0 point. Otherwise, it brings much more tools to the table in other ways. Alexi, great opening pick here in the Capricious. They need those kind of stops to really cool down Capricious, who has been such a menace this entire series, Tosh.
Twirly does get the heal, so there is that one consolation prize at least to bring her back in the game. That Capricious, that's a little bit less firepower, but does it really matter though when every single one of your teammates have been really strong in terms of handling their own. Seekers finally popped out by Alexi. Will give them all the information they need, but this is also good because it allows them that space.
What?
Get out of my way!
That was so close.
Yep, that's very, very close. It was just more of a prediction here, but Shirazi, she's been really, really proactive with taking up this space, and Kami will punish Twirly for taking up or just overextending here behind yellow. Regardless for Shirazi, that wall bang is gonna bring her down, but not enough to take her out. Regardless, the flash comes through. Rosie punishes her. Miha as well gets for Alexi. Zinni watching the backside, making sure no one will be flanking for the back. But here comes the fire. Miha, be aware that Alexi is waiting on the right side.
Player standing.
Make it 2, not quite as Rosie from the other side finds Zinni in the end, and Rosie with a 3K. Rosie has been making it big in this particular match.
My goodness, this lady's playing on the laptop, mind you, and she's killing it. Absolutely. Look at how proficient she has been regarding that halls.
Last round
How many
in the
times
half.
have we seen Rosie this half alone take the halls control back away from Bren, or stop them from continuing with that advantage? She is so good and consistent at making sure that avenue is firmly in ZOL's hands. And look at this. Disadvantage, yes, but still comes out on top. Ring around the Rosies, their pockets full of bullets, because they're leading the family of Bren to their demise.
Stop! I have to say though, maybe I should sell my PC. Maybe I'll finally be a Radiant player. Because this PC is not working out for me.
Seems
The best.
there's some, I guess she's comfortable with it. It's working.
Someone buy her a PC, man. She'll probably be the next Forsaken once you give her that. Regardless, best just waiting in this corner. I don't know if they actually spotted her gun barrel or the top of her head there. No pings means probably not. As Shirazi, she suspects, and she finally gets it. Without bets, there's no more smokes. It's gonna be a lot easier at least to take up some space. Twirly pushing out here. Gotta be careful not to overextend. Alexi is aware, but look at Kamiyu with the swing, catches them off guard. But Shirazi is ready for the refrag. Shirazi gets 2, already 3 in her pocket this time. She is on fire with that op. Capricious. How are you gonna push out here? It's only 24 HP and 3 gun barrels aimed to your corner. And Twirly will find her first.
Great intuition here from Shirazi to shut down that Halls push this time around. It seems like they heard us. Okay, you guys want to keep on taking that Halls? Well, you'll walk right into our sights. And mind you, this is the only real gun that they had as Zinni shuts down Miha. That was the only gun, truly, that they really kind of had for that round at the end of the half. They had a bunch of Spectres, a single Vandal, and that Operator coming in absolutely huge. Once again, intuition there to suspect where Best was, and they convert off of it too.
That repositioning from Zinni was nasty. You were not expecting that to happen. Regardless, we're gonna have Donut and Mika kind of unwrap what's going on this map as we end the game. We'll half with 6-6.
I don't quite know how to read this anymore, Jonah, just because it's like, okay, it's halftime, it's 6-6 over here. That was exactly what happened before on Ascent, and that didn't exactly go the way that I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to expect for both of these teams, right? With when we talk about the stats, right? Bren Victress has to is higher in terms of win rate on attack, but we really didn't see that come through here because of ZOL Meraki's holds in terms of the site. I love their setup there because it's the Viper on the other side and the Chamber on the B side, and they let Miha gain information there in mid, and they were successful for most of the rounds, at least for the first 4. But Bren Victress, in terms of predictability, it was evident. They knew that this was the setup. And each and every time that ZOL Meraki would change up their positions and they would aggress, they get punished for it. And I think that's why Bren Victress was able to string in a couple of rounds in their favor.
Yeah, and now I'm wondering, like, you know, now that the it's gonna switch around, if Bren can do the same on the defense, because Bren seem to perform best when they can grab the momentum early on in the round, when they can get those early picks and the confidence to close out the round. When the sides are switched, though, ZOL Meraki's aggression is something that I think is still a little bit difficult for them to determine, just because they're not afraid to switch it up as well. They can be very, very aggressive in one round, and then they can suddenly, just deafening silence once again in the next one.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the defensive Bren, they just really have to hold down the sites. I know that in terms of how they would play, Alexi and as well as Turley would have these magical plays there in mid, because they love mid control here in Breeze, and that a lot of their success is drawn from those types of plays. But for sure, ZOL Meraki has prepared for this, because we're ending at a 6-6. The stats don't really matter at this point. But ZOL Meraki, what I really love to note during that time is Rosie's ability to frag. And now that they're on attack with all of the utilities now into place, she can be self-sufficient. She can be doing all of these clutch moments and just poke the bear, and Rosie's gonna be there to get a kill. So anything can happen at this point.
Anything can happen indeed, and Laptop Gaming represent. Let's get back into Breeze with our casters, Black and Blue and Tash.
Welcome back, everyone, as we go to a very, very close 6-6 mid-game. And Black and Blue, what do you think? On attack, 6, not the biggest lead.
Well, it's no lead at all, in fact. Things tied on up, but ZOL Meraki, they are better on their attacking side typically. Hopefully I'm not jinxing it for them for their sake, but
they're so fast on sight.
They really are. They've just blazed upon sight, and really a lightning blitz to get onto that. They got the spike down. Will they push forward though?
Capricious plays very, very bad corner. They get the information coming you immediately. They'll be taken down thanks to the reaction. Information rather. Rosie gets one, and Shirazi will trade it out. Turley is already with a 2 in her pocket. Miha is so very low. She can make this value happen, but she gets 1. Can she get 2 is the question. No, she won't. It's not enough, as they finally get this first point to themselves, bringing them to a 7 for Bren Victress.
They need that round here. Bren Victress being on the defensive side, the less favored side on Breeze. It's one they want to convert. To take these 2 rounds will give them, honestly, a much bigger chance of winning this game, winning this map at the very least, just by winning that pistol round here, especially on the defense on Breeze once more. They get the defuse off, and these rounds, look at this, the force buy coming from ZOL though. They want to take this head to toe.
They want to have that lead, continuing it, especially on a round that favors attack. You want to have that momentum to propel yourselves forward. But Bren Victress, they love playing aggressive. This is kind of similar to what we expected on defense on Fracture. Regardless, Shirazi already pushing up. You gotta check your corners. It's very, very important here. But Shirazi doesn't! And Shirazi goes down, but Ali is enough to at least just get the refrag. It's a very difficult situation because of one corner unchecked, but Miha pushing out here. Timing is key, and Alexi! Hawk does get destroyed, and Twirly has Miha in the end of the tag situation for the 2 players of Bren.
This round looking disastrous now for ZOL Meraki, and that it is. This is a great round for Bren Victress to win. Now they force another eco to come out from ZOL Meraki and could potentially secure this early half 9-6 because of it. So looking pretty good, Bren Victress, right now for them to be able to take these type of rounds. These are absolutely influential in the long run.
Taking a site. They let them take the site. See that? It's all completely open. But playing retakes has been a little bit hard because what they did is prevent ZOL Meraki from preparing for that post plant. So it's absolutely vital that so long as they stop, don't allow them to prepare for that post plant, they can take the win. But for ZOL Meraki, perhaps speed isn't the issue here. Perhaps taking out or dwindling the numbers might be a little bit better for them. But look at this angle played by Shirazi. It's absolutely nasty. Where are you looking? Oh, she still gets in the end! That's insane speed!
Didn't even ADS for that. Still, pinpoint accurate Shirazi. What a pick she finds there. Rendezvous back out to safety. Now ZOL Meraki, they lose an opening player that they really wanted to have in this bout, in this fight. Rosie, as she goes up here, she even checked the drop. Twirly's waiting.
Oh, she knows! But she got gun diffed. It's just very, very unfortunate. And in this situation, this Hall's control is absolutely vital. Doesn't allow them to take up a lot of space. Look at that. Because they have full Hall's control, they're able to see straight into mid-side. And Shrazi is able to push out. Might find Miha. Headhunter out, but Miha a little bit faster. With that Sheriff. And Alexi finds Bess.
30 seconds
Miha
left.
now all alone. What can she do?
Miha. It's a big task for her. Still, small sliver of a chance.
Revealing area.
She can find this pick on a Twirly. That might just do it on in, but the timing not working out.
10 seconds
Scan on a Twirly. She has to force the issue here towards the site. Doesn't have enough time to try and do anything on else. And she gets the kill anyways. Twirly locks things down. ZOL Meraki, you're now down 9-6. They have to start winning rounds here.
This is scary when you think about it. When you think that you are on the rounds that you are supposed to be winning, and Bren Victress pulls this out of nowhere, it catches you off guard. This time, the spike doesn't even make it to sight. Barely. The timeout comes through. And as for Bren Victress, they are starting to get momentum, and they start feeling very good about themselves. Look at Twirly, 12-9. She's back in the game.
It's a great recovery that she's had coming into this map. When Twirly, we talked about, you know, a while ago, 6 rounds in, single frag. Now round 16, near almost the top of her board, barring two more kills. So that really is her starting to heat up in this map. That's exactly what you want if you're a Bren fan. So ZOL, they call the timeout here. The kind of a mixed buy, if anything, for Bren Victress, but it doesn't matter because they do have lots to use. They give the op over to Shirazi. Twirly's got blades to utilize with the Spectre. Even though, yes, eco rounds aren't necessarily super favorable, especially in a map like Breeze, they have that op, which could be a huge X factor here for Bren. If they win this round, I'm wagering that map 3 is very likely.
Here.
Yeah. Twirly has knives as well. She can go fast if she wants to. Sneak bite, gonna buy some time. The knife does get destroyed, so that's great for them. Don't have any information, but Twirly's aggression will be rewarded. She finds Rosie, flash as well another time, but this time they take time to actually just go back. They don't have to go super aggressive when they already got that opening shot.
I really like the fact that Bren decided to push elbow there. They know that they don't have the weapons advantage. Once again, they can't go for a straight up duel. So they try and press the issue, try and close that gap, and try and go on the initiative instead of being passive. And that is what you have to do when you are in these kind of rounds where you don't have as much firepower, you don't have full rifles abound. You have to try and make sure that those advantages aren't too stark in contrast for the opposition. Flash on out confirms that elbow presence here from ZOL. And now they're trapped, really scratching their heads on where to go.
So we see a change of pace. Look at this aggression from Ali with the 3K with the sprays. Gets an upgrade as well. It's exactly what they wanted. And Ali, she's hungry. She wants to end the game.
That is wonderful here. Coming in from Bren. Huge round for them to win. This defense, impenetrable. Not a single round they've given up just yet. We've seen ZOL come back in these situations as they did on Ascent a while ago, but it's never a position you want to be in. So Bren Victress turning the clock back, really throwing the statistics out the window. Their defense looking a lot more proficient than their attack was early on.
Change in mindset probably. Look at how confident they are. Bren Victress really shows it in how they play, especially when they feel good. That Trailblazer not allowing for that Hall's control. Just like how terrifying the map control was from ZOL Meraki, Bren Victress brings the same. Flash doesn't give the information they want.
Yeah.
Look at that rotation as well. They haven't even moved just yet, but they have an idea where exactly they might be.
Yeah, looks like they want to commit towards this B site. The wall.
Right
It's a
here.
curious wall for them to be throwing up here on the defense. Really deep in the B main. Denies at 0 point. Zini able to back on off to safety. They know she's here on the back of the site. She has the
What a
advantage
great
with a
shot.
rifle. Ali takes down Cameo as well. This round should be Bren securing the 11th.
Zini already with onto Rosie, and Ali goes down regardless. Zini with the 3K. Alexi gets one more. This retake, this multi-angle situation they have chokes them from so many different angles before they could even position themselves with the crosses. And we saw earlier one of the biggest strengths that ZOL Meraki has been that crossfire. And without that crossfire, this great utility usage that they're not able to play together makes it so hard for them and isolates them. But they're not able to win these aim duels.
Bren Victress. They're looking pretty spicy so far. We saw ZOL come back with 5 rounds straight a while ago. Now they're in a 5-round deficit, but it's going to be much more difficult considering how on fire Bren have seemed to be. Their pace, their confidence really shifting for the better right now. Aldrone on out. It connects as well here from that range. And the perfect pick here from Shirazi. They can get the res back up on the Rosie though, and that's what they're trying to do.
Was it again? Unfortunately,
Tags.
this time, not enough to take her down, but look at this control at Halls. She had to teleport away. She does get the door open though, but the flash is gonna buy some time. So many utilities already committed, not allowing them to push forward. But look at this aggression coming out. Alexi does find Best Ally as well, finds Capricious. Shirazi does get attacked from double doors, but look at that. Miha already with a double. Ally taking one side, but Camille wins it in the end. Finally, it's a 2-on-1 situation. Zini, what can you do against one? Can she get two is the question. Gonna be getting that tap, but at the end of the day, both of them are not getting the hits. And Camille says, I want to save this round. I want my gun. And in the end of the day, Zini falls to the spike.
She goes down to the black mass. And man, what a dark ending to that round there for Bren Victress. They both committed to the sprays.
They both are not hitting their sprays. Both of them are in a situation where it's high pressure.
Yeah.
You can tell that they were absolutely nervous.
They were both praying to the highest of heavens, but no one answered back.
They're like, God of sprays, please! Please!
Lord of sprays, God of RNG,
You want to
give me
play?
this one.
Let's play.
But in the end, it came down to them having to do it their
God
own
of
mortal
sprays
ways.
is having a meal.
Yeah, he was like, I'm
Sorry,
busy.
out for lunch, guys.
I'm busy. I'm out for my mid-time snack.
Sounds like you.
I wish.
Wait, are you the God of sprays?
I wish. I'm busy casting.
Welcome,
Oh man, we do get the plant this time.
Oh,
And finally, Ali does get a tag, but not the knock.
Spike planted.
Not good enough for them to stop the Viper's pit. Regardless, Alexi does find Capricious. There's a little bit of firepower out of the way. Twirly finds Camille as well. Twirly, she got the shorty. She can go in. She can play aggressive, but she has to be really sneaky about it. Ellie, from the other side. That's part one. Rosie a little bit faster than first contact. Twirly gets the double shot onto Best. Miha trades it out. Rosie with
Last player
3
standing.
already.
Again.
And suddenly, we're a 1 versus 1 once again. Rosie, she has to reload. Is just waiting. Shirazi playing for time here. She needs to get the tap down. But Rosie, cool as a cucumber, doesn't have to show herself. But
No
Shirazi
time.
wins it in the end. But the time is not her side. And Rosie says, haha, it's all as planned.
she played that super well. Rosie winning another clutch. She has been so consistent. One of the most consistent players we've seen in the clutch situation this entire tournament. They really rely on a lot of that. It's a spectacular way to win a round. Yes, very entertaining, but not the most consistent. Unless it's Rosie at least. Huge rounds here. She's getting triple for her.
It's so good. She always is there for those multi-frags. She knows how to play for time. And it's insane how Rosie is like that big sister who is just like, it's okay, I'll pat you on the head and I'm the one who will do it for you. Who will bring the round back. Who will make the bleeding stop.
My oh my. Bren Victress, they call their timeout after losing a round where they had the advantage. Mind you, that was a 3v5, and they even dropped the Viper's Pit, but Rosie's just way too good right now.
Look at her score. 18-14. As a KO.
3.
And always the last person alive. You always kind of have this idea that as an initiator, you're supposed to get that first trade and that's it. But for Rosie, she goes above and beyond that role.
Yeah. You'd be the one trading off, right? You'd be like that second entry. Being a KO, you are that second entry. Capricious goes in.
Exactly.
Rosie follows up, but she's been alive in these late round situations because as she gets that trade, as a entry, she positions herself in the post plant in a position to play the long game and potentially win it out in the end. Look at that! Early Hunter's Fury. I don't know about this risk, this gamble. That's a complete just guess here from ZOL, and they don't win out in that gambit.
Look at Alexi. They do spy each other out. The knife gonna find someone. Twirly with the cross. Finds Camus in the end. Regardless, Twirly going on the aggressive. Sprays through. She gets one more. Shirazi finds Miha in the end. Gonna block out the area at least to prevent the push. And Shirazi finds herself over at Arches.
So, that was kind of curious. 5v2 here. Shirazi locking things down. The Viper wall going up, though, cuts off her sightline. Twirly. Free kill on the Rosie this round. It's done. This should be match point here right now for Bren. Crucial mistake. ZOL Meraki. They pulled out the Hunter's Fury. The idea there, okay, with that Hunter's Fury is to clear out elbow, make sure nobody pushes out of tunnel and nest so that they can take that early elbow control. But what does that really give you after then? It would have been much better if they initiated first, made that contact, and then pulled out the Hunter's Fury. But they simply give away such a high impact ultimate for free, give away their intent as well. And I don't know, I think it's very, I guess, ambitious, but far too ambitious in that case.
I wanted to go aggressive. We got the pick, it would have been a different story. So, it was a very high-risk, high-reward gamble, but for Alexi, this high-risk, high-reward play will get her 2 kills very, very early. In this situation, when you are against an eco, you are gonna get gun-diffed, but not Camus, though. She does get 1 tapped, getting a twirly in the process with the headhunter.
Well, they have 2 Guardians. Can be very impactful on a map here like Breeze, long ranges, but still not ideal, especially against the buy that they've got going up here.
They don't have a choice. They need this round.
Yeah.
If not, Bren Victress bring them to a 3rd map, and
This is
that's
a
something
force.
they don't want to go to. Yep, it is
You know,
a force.
if they ran that Hunter's Fury play on this round, I would have understood. Because right, they don't have the best weapons. They have to make something work. But they do it on their gun round. And that really, I think, was a crucial mistake, the fatal mistake of this map for them.
Viper's Pit committed here
Really?
onto A.
Teleport's ready.
Buy some time
30
at
seconds
least.
left.
But Shirazi,
Oh,
oh, that's
timing.
timing. That's really timing, but it doesn't really matter because Shirazi, timing on her favor, she still gets 2. Can she make it 3? No, Camus is a little bit better with a sharpshooter. Camus
No way.
already with 3! Camus insane. She's just rushing through right now. She wants to bring it home. She wants to at least go into overtime.
10
Zini,
seconds
she
left.
hears the footsteps. She knows exactly where she is, buying time. Surprise, surprise! She's here! 13-8! And now, we go again into map 3.
We're going to map number 3. And as I said, Tosh, simply, huge mistake. I don't know what was going on in the heads of ZOL Meraki there. They throw that Hunter's Fury out, and I'm going to go back to it a 3rd time because that was a fatal mistake. As soon as I saw that play, I went, oh no, what are you doing? Because I knew that they would have just lost the map right then and there because it didn't work. I don't think it was worth it at all. Even without hindsight, even in the moment, I was thinking, what on earth are they doing? And they give themselves up for free and practically on a silver platter.
I really think that this is down to how many rounds in a row you have lost. Sometimes the mindset tends to think desperately in those situations, and I feel like it was a very, very desperate play that they really wanted to force out, because in that situation, if they manage to get a tag, it would be a little bit easier to use with their eco guns, and it might be better if they could get a pick. Then it could be easier for them to at least get onto the site, at least get 2 or 3, and get the spike down.
Well, Be it on a full gun round, but I want to hear what the panel has to say about things here. I'm Black and Blue. With me is Tosh. We're going to map number 3 after this panel.
That is right. We are going to map number 3 as the score ties 1-1 between ZOL Meraki and Bren Victress. And Donut, I know we've heard enough about that Hunter's Fury round over here, but I feel like on the defense of on Bren, a lot more confidence. You really feel like they know what they're doing. And I love how Bren were really hurting ZOL Meraki like sheep, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the recovery right after some of the rounds in the first half, you would really see that, okay, or you would expect that Bren Victress would be a little bit shaky, but Bren Victress just shows us how it's going to be done with how Shirazi is able to reposition at the back of the site, with how they hold down mid. And I mentioned that the amount of mid control will assess the win of Bren Victress here, and they're able to do it successfully. There were like 5 straight rounds where Bren Victress was succeeding in their defense before ZOL Meraki could figure them out.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I feel like, you know, for ZOL Meraki, we lost a little bit of that initiative that we saw on while they were on the defense. And I feel like, you know, ZOL, one of the good things that, of course, that the team does is playing time. Again, masters of the defuse, they did get a couple of rounds on that defuse, even if it means that it's the opposing team trying to defuse this time around. However, Bren Victress was just prepared for that. They were prepared to let those rounds go, and I feel like this was a lot more of the mistakes that ZOL Meraki made rather than, you know, Bren Victress totally owning the round, because it might be a little bit controversial, it might be a little bit harsh, but I still don't think this was a very decisive win on the side of Bren Victress, especially not coming from the huge plays that they had from last week.
Yeah, that's going to be a big difference, right? With Bren on the defense, we saw them string a couple of rounds, a lot of the rounds actually. ZOL just got 2 after finishing the half at 6-6. Even if Rosie was able to deliver all of these frags, right? It was notable at the end of it that she was getting all of these multi-kills each and every round that they need her, but it's just those mistakes, probably just the timing, probably just a little bit of miscommunication on ZOL Meraki's end. That's why they weren't able to really bring it forward the way that we expected them to do during the second half.
Yeah, and I did think that we would be going to map number 3 because this is an elimination match. It will be either ZOL Meraki or Bren Victress finishing out this tournament in 4th place, and right now they are grasping, and you can tell these girls are really giving it their all. We saw the reactions of Bren Victress earlier. They're pumped. They are ready to take this to a map 3 now that they've had some kind of momentum going back to them. We're gonna see if they can close it out or if ZOL Meraki can take that back right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere. VCT Game Changers APAC Elite will be right back.
dead last night. Now you're lying in my bed. Must have been a dream last night, but I can hear what you're saying. You were shot to death last night. Where's my cup of coffee? I was dreaming something bad last night. Can't you hear what I'm saying? One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you. Two gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you. You were shot to death last night, and I thought of someone else. Didn't care about your life last night, at least less than about his. All our dreams were shot to death last night. I see the clock stand still. Nightmares at your heart sometimes, but this is unbelievable. One gunshot, and I forgot to look at you, to look at you, to look at you, to look at you. Two gunshots, and my thoughts. We're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you, we're not with you.
You're back on the VCT Game Changers APAC Elite Panel Desk with myself, Mika Fabs, and Donut, the ever beautiful Donut who is glowing. Look at that. As the sun sets, she gets brighter and brighter. It's your lighting, girl. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm like all purple to mask any imperfections. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I mean that's is a complimentary color, right? I'm glowing yellow, you're glowing purple. That's such a great compliment.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And it is our second best of 3 for the day, going into a full map number 3 as ZOL, Meraki, and Bren Victress take it to a bind, our decider map for this series. And I take a deep breath as I say this because it's been getting very, very close, closer than I thought it would be. I thought that it would go the way of how these two teams have met up in the past, wherein Bren Victress closed it out with a 2-0, but ZOL, Meraki are fighting back with every single round.
Yeah, take note though that Bind is ZOL Meraki's decider map against the team of SMG, and they won it out. It was all about their tenacity in this map and their ability to be more flexible. Because at the end of it, I'm pretty sure that we'll be expecting the same picks as they did against Team SMG, wherein Capricious was the fade. Bess was actually the raise, and she stepped up her game. We all know her to be that controller who would be very consistent with her aim, but she stepped up the game as a duelist while Capricious was the fade.
Yeah, and again, it's ZOL Meraki switching things around once more. It's like, Capricious is a duelist. No, it's going to be Bess this time around. I think you're right. That's something to definitely look forward to as well. We're going to see who's going to pick up the chamber too, because that's always a treat, whether it's going to be Rosie or it might be Camille this time. On the side of Bren, though, they do perform a little bit better on this map. They have a little bit more experience. But ZOL Meraki, I kind of like thinks that sometimes, playing the map a little bit more times than your opponent kind of puts you at a disadvantage, because that means all of your secrets are now laid out in front of the opponent to review and look back at all of the VODs that are there online.
Definitely, but I think there's going to be a big difference because at least from before Bren Victress's experience, at least in recent ones that they've played, right, Meraki was actually the Rays, and there's a big gap to fill for her actually not being part of the team anymore. So Twirly really has to step up her game as the Rays. Before, at least when they would play this map, Twirly would sometimes play the Killjoy, or they would take on another role, at least for Zinni. At least she's the controller of the team. But I guess now, since they did play Bind from before, I would really have to say that Twirly does step up her game. We saw that in Breeze, right? It was a little bit cold for her in the first few rounds, but when there was assistance coming from Alexi, she managed to string in these rounds. Her confidence just stepping on top of the site there in B, getting these pixel peaks against the team members of ZOL Meraki. That's the confidence that we want to see her take on.
Yeah, and it's a big burden. It's a lot of pressure, and ooh, you were absolutely right. Bess is taking up the Rays. This time we have Rosie on the Fade, and we have Alexi on the Rays as well. It's almost a mirror match, except that the flashes come in a little bit differently on both sides. I don't know. Yeah. I'm thinking that there was a lot of success previously when Alexi did take on the duelist role because she was able to do a lot for her team, but at the same time still kind of like you know how she kind of like balanced the team, wherein the team played a little bit more aggressively, but she kind of toned herself so they kind of equalized or met in one sweet spot. That was, I believe, an Icebox.
Yeah. I mean, Alexi does play the duelist, but she says that she isn't really able to like bring in those calls because she's hyper focused and she prefers to have that support role. But I mentioned earlier, filling in that gap. Probably this is the answer for Bren Victress.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see if they can close out this map. This is our final map for this series, and we're going to find out who proceeds in this competition. Will it be ZOL Meraki or will it be Bren Victress? Let's find out at Vine. Throw it over to your casters, Black and Blue and Tash.
Thank you, Donut and Mika. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here now in map number 3 on Bind to find out where this game will go. I'm Black and Blue, with me is Tosh, to find out which team really will be bound here from the tournament still, and which will continue on. We are looking at a potential lower bracket finalist from either side, really. And Tosh, I'm curious to pick your brain out, considering how these two maps have gone. Who are you expecting to take this one in the bag?
No. I just tweeted out that I love all the Game Changer girls equally. You will not put this question on me. Nah.
The difficult questions must be answered.
It's a very difficult question because if you look at performance-wise for Bren Esports, they're very mechanical how they play, always having a buddy system, great with those refrags. But for ZOL Meraki, they are a team that's very aggressive, and once they feel good, their momentum just catapults them ahead so far away. We've seen the scores right now, 13-11, 8-13. These are as close as it gets.
Super. I'm looking at the map veto here right now, and I'm curious to see that ZOL, they let this one through. They banned Icebox for their second ban, when Icebox is a much better map for them statistically, and a slightly worse map for Bren statistically. And the last time they played on this, Bren and Victress demolished them 3-13. So I'm curious why ZOL picked this, but early on, Showers control. Bren, go for it. Camu backs out to safety.
That's exactly why they chose it, because they feel good. They've done their homework. ZOL Meraki, we can actually see how much they've learned from their mistakes. And even in such a short time during Elite, they have evolved into a super team.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big risk to run. Although, mind you, the last time they did play this was a long time ago. It was 5 months ago, so back in May. Very different roster. And now they're really trying to get things going, though. Zinni, what a right click she finds in the gardens and sends Miha down into the ground.
I would be so upset if that were happened to me. Kami only has 2 bullets, but none of them will be expended as they go on the aggressive. Alexi is there, but Capricious wins out in the end. Only 10 HP left, puts her teammate in the front of her. But she gets an upgrade. Regardless, she has the haunt as well to get that information. All they have to do is just wait. They don't have to show themselves. But Ali also with the haunt of her own. As I say over and over again, this map is still made for the fake. Rosie and Beth, what exactly where she is. What can you do? You get one. And she gets one more. The haunt will bite. You can see. You can hear. You just have to play for time. She gets it halfway and still wins in the end. Rosie again and again becoming the thorn in Bren Victress' side.
What the hell did we just see there from Rosie? She didn't even see it. She didn't even see. Yeah, she was hit by the Prowler. And within that darkness, she says she's a Fade too, bringing back the Bane. This is where I came from. I was molded by it. I'm just as good as you in these situations. And Rosie brings it back around. We talked about her consistency in these clutches. And so has Ali been. But Rosie comes out on top.
You know my reaction if someone did that, I'll like bro. You know what? I'll just say Brosie.
Alt F4.
Yeah, we'll bro her instead, but Alexi with the speed. She has the shorty, and shorty says apple bottom jeans, I get the kill. Rosie with 2 already, thanks to that upgrade, looking very, very good. Bess as well. But Alexi, she's stuck in the corner. What can you do when Camille is running and gunning at you? And suddenly, there's only Ali to work with. And does it really matter? Because Miha is ready. She knows exactly where she is. She reads her like a book. And that will be the end.
Miha tells Ali, quit playing Iha. Round is done.
What's Iha?
Okay, so Iha is what you call like a younger sister, almost in Spanish. It's a Filipino thing.
Ah, so if I were talking to most of these GC girls, I call like
Iha.
like Hannah, Iha Hannah.
Yeah, but it's okay. Maybe not lower sister, but more like niece. Kind of like that.
Niece.
So you don't really use it for
Like
younger.
I'm Uncle Roger.
Yeah, like I'm older than you and have more, you know, possibly.
I've been calling Hannah Kuya for fun. She got so upset.
She is for brothers. Gosh, little do you know it, but you are a naturalized Filipino.
Regardless, look at all these utils put inside of showers just to buy time. No swing outs though, because why should they?
Well, making sure that they don't overcommit on a lot of these pushes. They're playing really close here, ZOL.
Bren always punishes them for it, don't they?
They do. And with ZOL playing really close, they're not going to have a safety net to back on out. Maybe they can back out in the showers, especially if Alexi goes down. But Bess is going to have to go big here and find that pick first and foremost. I don't think he expects Alexi to be on the left-hand side.
Or maybe she does. You never know what goes through these pro players' minds. But he comes through and immediately the spray is not able to catch Shirazi, but Rosie still wins it! That was absolutely nasty! Alexi, not given the space, pushes in with 2. And for now, they are marked by Bess.
Whoa!
Only not able to do much but get 1. But look at that scene, he still wins it out in the end. They are bonuses, but they are getting ripped through shreds. Miha with that cross, twirling only with 5 HP left. She gets 1, guess she get 2, not quite. 3 in a row! I think this is time where Bren Victress really gotta figure out what they need to do.
That was huge from Bess there in showers. How much time she delayed from that double showers push. And look at this. She gets a double dink. She gets a kill here on Alexi. And by goodness, almost did Zone Twirly as well. Brought her down to a sliver of health. And that just helped Miha secure the round on the wide swing. Quick and easy with that Spectre. So difficult to win against that when you're that low in HP. And ZOL using the benefit of this favorable defensive side in their favor.
Out of the ops and Camille will be one winning this.
She almost lost that.
Faster. Yeah, she almost did, but she does get tapped halfway regardless. Look at all those utils, allowing them onto the side. Look at that, she doesn't get the second one, but Miha is ready for her. Miha go for 2. Miha 3 already before finally Twirly finds her in the end. Gets an upgrade, needs to reload that flash as well. She needs to give up the space. She does. Quickly run over toward the A side. It's 1 versus 3. If she can at least get the plant, at least a little bit more income for her for the next round.
It wasn't smart by Cameo, honestly, to buy an up here.
2 different angles. Twirly is anticipating it. She gets 1. bit for her, and she says, "Surprise, everyone! I'm teleporting again! You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man!"
Now she knows one is coming there from B short and one coming from CT, so they're split up. They're isolated, and this is very winnable for her. She's going for the flank as well. It's not planned for her here.
All she has to do is just get those picks. That's very important. But timing is key as 3K for Twirly. The flash comes out.
Good fake.
She knows exactly where she is, anticipating the push from elbow. And no, she looks the other way.
She knows who's
Huge, but she's ready for it, Twirly! That's a 1 versus 3! What a clutch!
What a round here for Bren Victress. On the eco as well. I was gonna say, that wasn't smart for Camu to buy up an operator here against an eco. You're never really supposed to do that if you have enough economy to buy up the next round anyways. Buy a Stinger, buy an SMG, play the anti-eco the way you're supposed to, and don't force out an operator because that's exactly what can happen. It's really hard to track pistols up close, and Bren Victress, being on that eco, they're gonna want to close that gap, and that they do. So, really, look at how much economy they've wasted. ZOL, simple mistakes here that are really costing them important rounds.
Burns with the Reans Alexi already on the side. She is very aggressive, but they are gonna be responding with an orbital strike of their own. Flash comes through, but Alexi from the other side, Zini with the plant, and Capricious. Without the weaponry, it's so hard to push out, isn't it? But Miha is just so very low, but all she needs is just one bullet to the face. Best, she wants to get that pick. Alexi a little bit faster on that first contact. All they have to do is just play for time. These smokes poorly enough to get that tag. She's just playing and just moving in and out of it.
This is gonna be really difficult now for ZOL to go on in. They're so good at winning some of these difficult positions, but they keep on placing themselves in difficult positions time and over. Waste of a orbital strike there. Could have been saved for later. They simply just throw it on out. We see this. I guess it comes down to the lesser experience being there in the favor of Bren, because, you know, the side here of ZOL, they're not as experienced as Bren Victress, and you can see that pressure getting to them, especially in a high-stakes tournament like this, in a high-stakes map number 3, to go to the lower bracket finals. And these mistakes, they're not gonna pass, not gonna fly, not against a team like Bren.
Go get him.
So Meraki seems to have lost their momentum, also their composure after that clutch from Twirly. It's very hard to come back from that, especially when you have such a huge lead and advantage. And you saw the change in mindset from Shirazi. Regardless, Alexi denied it come through, but she still gets one in the end. It's gonna be Precious out of the way, but that cross coming through. Best, that's fine. Shirazi in the end. Best with her own. Can she get 2 is the question. No! Quickly moving out of the way, and Best, she only has 8 bullets in that chamber. Regardless for Kamiyu, she doesn't know that there's someone close in the corner. Alexi, Ellie! Getting 1 each. 2 rather for Alexi. And now momentum back in Bren Victress' hands.
This is a very different composition, by the way, that Bren are bringing to the table right now. When it comes to their recent bind maps, this time they switch out Alexi to go on that Raze, and she's played Raze before, so I like the switch off. We saw them try and have, at least versus Rising Hope, I believe it was Twirly to go on that, actually versus XN Sapphire, and to switch roles, I think it's been really good, but I'm curious more so that here on Bind, it's Bess who picks up that Raze role for ZOL. We've seen her be really good when she's on more of the controller slot, and Miha's the one initiated, so they swap things over. I'm not too sure if that's going to be too great. This is already an okay half, considering all things that Bren, they are going to be ending this map on their favorite defensive side.
We saw they were about to commit to that Nightfall, but changed their mind. Especially if they know that the op is currently on A main. Regardless, this cut of noise is not enough to deter ZOL Meraki and give up their positioning. No information for Twirly. So now the question is, what can we do with this lack of information? How can we utilize this? And now here comes the fast explosive play as we hit 50 seconds. And Kamiyu does find Ali in the end. Miha hiding behind the box, and Best, she knows it was all a fake. Doesn't realize there's someone behind her. The spray does come through, at least for that trade. Shirazi really taking up elbow here, and Zini, they know that they're coming through from CT. Rosie, one
30
shot
seconds
straight to
left.
the head, gets an upgrade
Big
as
pick.
well. Prowler as well coming through, enough to give her the information. Zini is only half HP left. She needs to play this smart.
She could ult this, honestly, and that wouldn't be out of the question. But Miha finds that pick. It's all down now to Zinni, who falls down eventually. ZOL, great eco round they found, and that's where you see value out of these sheriffs in these committed positions. Sometimes all you need is one pick per person to equalize the odds, and that's exactly what happened. Best finds one before going down. Another player finds one before going down. Rosie
30 seconds.
completely
two.
just swings on.
Down B.
Completely just what's the word for it? Jump kicked? No.
Teleport's ready.
The fact that she's not even
Watching here.
playing on a gaming laptop, it's just a normal laptop
You
you,
want to
use for
play?
school.
Let's play.
What even?
Is it though?
Yeah, can go look at her Twitter. She did post up her setup. You notice Jess Good also asked how much do you need for a setup, and I'm curious to see what exactly is the outcome for that. Regardless, Shirazi, just waiting. Camille as well. You saw, even though the cut of noise, ZOL did not move an inch. Did not even try to find out where they are. Stonewalling is also a way to play, because sometimes being alive is all you need to do.
Whoa. What made her go for that? She just gave away where the op is now.
Where are
I guess.
Camille has always been doing that. Like, if you, I don't know if you noticed, like, she is as though like she is okay with letting them know where the op is, as though to try to play the mind game, try to funnel them to a different side or different area.
That allows Bren now to adjust. Now they know what to smoke off though, and which angles to cut off. Shirazi checks the corner, doesn't land the shot there. Miha opens up though, but
Oh, Shirazi still
Shirazi
gets
deep on in, punishes Camus, and that's exactly the problem. Maybe they would have smoked towards heaven instead if they didn't know there was an op, but because they knew there was an op, they smoked off
pushes
the
up.
triple.
They were
Look at
not
this
expecting
push!
that.
Alexi finds one, but only good for the one.
They were not expecting the push, but it was still enough to dwindle down the numbers. Shirazi
Oh.
unfortunately misses, but Rosie
What?
quick on the shots. That was a wall bang towards Shirazi. Regardless, Zini playing this corner. She might be good for two if she can. She gets one!
One enemy
Not enough for
remaining.
two. Best trying to find the final member. Where are you? Is the question. Ali just waiting. She sticks it and she gets it.
Easy round for Ali to secure there. And Bren Victress, they come off of that. Came out pretty dicey, but ZOL once again. Third round that they really just gave away to Bren because of these small mistakes. Like, I really do think that if Camus held onto her op and simply did not let them know that the op was there and where it was, then Bren, there was a big chance they could have smoked on heaven instead of smoking away the triple position instead. And that might have just been better here for ZOL Meraki if that is what came to pass, but no, they give it away.
Where are you?
And Bren Victress punished them, rightfully so.
This fast into sight. But that pain shell's not allowing them to just breeze through. Regardless, they know that it's clear. But Shirazi from one side, as well as the Flash, as well as the Seekers. It's so oppressive. Regardless, Best still gets one. Twirly stops her in her tracks. Twirly from one side. The container is still good for one. She does get hit by the Prowler, but Ali still gets her in the end. It's really good how they react to all of these utilities. Clears out the area with the orbital strike, getting nothing out of this. And Miha and Kami, you're stuck at a 2 versus 4. Still gets one.
Oh, no.
How did she get out of that alive? And Zinni shuts her down.
Zinni, a second follow-up. And Bren, they take the lead now, away from ZOL. You know, ZOL, they have some good ideas, but I think they're really rightfully so misplaced. There again, in that round, why was Best the one in this type of corner? In this situation, considering they only had 3 rifles and Bess had a showstopper, I think it would have been much better if she dropped that rifle to another player who only had a sheriff, maybe someone like Miha, and then she played off of trying to get a pick with her showstopper instead and had the sheriff in her hands. It really would have been, I think, a lot more favorable in that case. And ZOL, they've got some really good cards, but they just don't know how to use them properly.
Out of
Not
charge.
able to get that quick run. Regardless, for Best, she moves backwards. Precious gets the flash, but everyone is waiting. Playing that corner, Camus gets Shirazi. My God, Camus with 2 and Miha with 1. What a cross! And that is the power of a well done eco. Camille is just half HP left, but it's so hard for them to push out. Ozzy with the flank from the other
With
side.
classic.
Camille already 3. Camille, can you get 4 is the question. Not quite. Ali was already with 3. She gets it in the end. Nightfall to equalize the situation, giving her information, throws out that they know that someone playing the corner. Hans as well, just for that. And for now, she knows it's going to be a double peak. At least she gets 1 knock. Quite as Capricious, a little bit faster. And they win a Thrifty again.
Perfect stun for Capricious. That was really dangerous considering they could not hear anything that Ali was going to be doing there. If she was able to retrieve the spike without them being able to hold on to it, then she could have taken a TP and they would have been none the wiser on where she really went and if she actually took it. So, Victress, they call the timeout. Good punish now for ZOL on Bren's mistake. Didn't realize that no one was really addressing that hookah push, that hookah control being held on by ZOL, and they use a lot of their utility, their droning utility early on. The Prowlers, the Trailblazers, all thrown out at once. That didn't allow them any more fight in the scramble, any more utility to fight within the scramble left.
The question now is, how exactly is Bren Victress going to equalize this? But regardless, with a 5 point already on defense side, on attack side, it's pretty good, given the fact that this map is a little bit more defender biased. But they want to get the lead at least as you go into the second round. You got to reset that mindset. But Bren Victress and ZOL Meraki seem to show that they're okay with that recovery, especially. We saw Meraki did some questionable plays, and then you saw that reset from their mind as the next round happens. It's really insane how this tug of war happens, how the utilities have been used for the fakes to play for time as well, and both teams doing really well with the utility usage. But Bren Victress more so thanks to their, I would say, experience.
The peek here from Shirazi. Oh, she takes lots of damage in that one. This eco from Bren Victress. They want to dish out the same fate that was dealt to them in the previous round where the Thrifty was pulled off by ZOL. This is looking difficult. They've taken the round though. So this post plant, they can make things work out, especially if this push here towards elbow works out for them. They find the one, but they get overrun. 2 for 2.
Still a situation that's winnable. Capricious going on the aggressive, finds Ali. She does not hesitate to follow up with all of her utilities. And we all know that pros do not fake. Capricious takes halfway.
One enemy remaining.
Still good with the cross. And it's going to be a clean round at least. Or ZOL Meraki bringing it to a 6.
Good round here for ZOL Meraki to secure, but I mean, if they don't get a 7-5, this is going to be pretty dicey. You do
Last
not
round
want to go
before the switch.
6-6 and go to the second half and be on that attacking side against Bren's defense here on Bind, which we've seen to be very, very iron-walled. Just so difficult for teams to really break that down. One of their better defensive sides. So ZOL, they're playing with fire here right now. Gotta be careful not to get burned. Shirazi, though, struggling to get herself going, but that's natural as a chamber here on the attacking side. The defense, I think, is going to be a far starker contrast in her favor.
I think one great thing about ZOL Meraki is that they have work. And I think that even going into attack side is going to be okay, but Shirazi opening up onto Rosie, that's a big pick. It's going to be hard to get information now without her. So for Bren Victress, they can play time. They can do a fake if they want to, so long as they play their cards right. But no movement from ZOL. And look at how far ahead and aggressive Best is right now, because they know that there's one there earlier, but her attention has gone straight to A main as Capricious putting in that pressure to the A side. Shirazi finds Camille. Look at Alexi aggressively pushing in. Finds a kill as well. Looking so good. Following up with that utility is what Bren Victress does best. And Alexi seals the round. I have to say this is one of their flawless and cleanest rounds yet.
Very, very well said. That was really perfect, if anything, here coming from Bren. Shirazi with a triple. She's come alive just when we called her out. And gets double the amount of kills in that round, but the panel here is going to break things down and how that half has gone. So, Mika and Donut, what you guys think?
This is so ironic because now it's 6-6 once again. And I think it's pretty much been the same story throughout all three maps, except that this time I feel that Bren are a little bit more comfortable in their aggression. You feel more initiative for them, and you can kind of feel that ZOL Meraki are not entirely in control in this map, although the score is still 6-6, and then the sides are gonna flip now, and we're gonna see if that changes at all.
Yeah, ZOL Meraki, they were just pushed into these uncomfortable circumstances, but they rise through it. We saw like 2 thrifty rounds for them just because of their crossfire setup. But when it comes to the buy rounds, right, it's like Bren Victress overtakes them during their strong points. And that's the irony about this. All throughout this best of 3, we've been ending the first half with a 6-6, so we're saying, okay, it's equal footing. But when it comes to the second half, all of the doubts that we actually say in this panel desk is proven otherwise. So
Yep.
I wouldn't really want to focus on the doubts, but I do want to really take note of Rosie here. Even as the Fade, she offers so much information for the team. But that I could say the same as well for Bren's Fade, right? The use of the Nightfall, an almost clutch situation for her. It just doesn't really come through for Bren Victress. I think what Bren Victress when it started was Twirly's 1v3. That was just phenomenal for her.
Oh yes, and of course when a duelist gets that momentum, that typically spells danger. But of course now the sides are going to flip. I do love what you brought up about the Fade. You can really see how crippling the kit of Fade is on this map, and with these, you know, two teams facing off against each other. I also love the Brim and how it suddenly becomes like a double initiator, you know, Brim kind of giving the aggressive smokes. It's very, very disorienting, and it cuts off a lot of very, very crucial angles for, you know, for the defending team. I'm gonna see if, you know, if right now, if the opposing team now that the sides have switched, if Bren is going to encounter that same strategy, if suddenly the sides are going to be flipped and it's going to be their problem this time around. But I don't know, you heard me and Donut, it's looking good for Bren, I mean feeling wise, but that doesn't really mean anything because as we mentioned, we've thrown out our scripts. I hope our casters have done the same too, because it can be anybody's game at this point. Let's get back into Vine with Black and Blue and Tash.
You guys have a really warm and cool lighting on in the background, don't you guys, going on there? Me and my mirror table lamp. But, well, things are lighting up here for Bren Victress as they're going on to that second half on their favorite defensive side, which we've seen be so devastating, really, for lots of teams to go up against it. But ZOL Meraki, they're ones to turn numbers around. And we've seen statistics be thrown out the window here today, Tosh.
Gonna do a dance of good luck for both these teams. And let's see what exactly can Bren bring to the table in terms of how they play on defense. Look at this aggressive stance here!
Whoa.
Alexi and Shirazi getting so much value inside of that smoke. That is absolutely horrifying. Probably a heart attack for ZOL Meraki right there.
They teleport to go for that B side plant instead. Shirazi can honestly take a risk here to just run through. I wouldn't doubt her for that. I wouldn't fault her for that attempt, since they have such a heavy man advantage, but being disciplined about this is smart. The right thing to do.
They know that they're right over there. They see everything. Miha and Alexi get some trade. Miha with 2. She's playing this so insane. Alexi finds Capricious. There is still Miha to worry about. She finally gets the zoning. She knows exactly where she's going to be, but Miha is the one to come up on top. Miha, what the heck?
One word, 2 syllables. Frenzy. That really did come down to it. Sometimes that frenzy can really make the difference. Yeah, but still, look at this. In the scramble, that frenzy is literally the best weapon you can have in the pistol round because of just how much value you can find on the move, really being advantageous up close, spits out bullets quicker than a sparrow, and Bren Victress, they fall victim to it.
Yeah, it's insane. Aggression still coming through, and for now, ZOL has learned not to play too fast, but Miha is ready for Alexi. They were expecting the aggression to come through, especially in this eco round. Kamyu leading the charge. She's scared of nothing. She knows that she can run and gun if she wants to. Best already aggressive into the site. She knows exactly where Ali is. Gets some space with that satchel. And now, you see the plants come through.
Yeah. If I'm Miha right now, I'm gonna farm this kill. Capricious, no, don't steal it away from Miha.
No!
Because they needed for her to get the orbital coming into the next round. She's one away from it. And that would have been huge to have against the rifles.
See that ZOL Meraki has learned. They have evolved and they have done their homework very well on how exactly do we take Bren Victress on one of their best defensive maps. And for now, technical pause probably would give these two teams some breathing room and a little time to think how exactly they want to take on this map and if they want to continue playing aggressive or take their time going forward.
Miha. Why is she on the frenzy?
Dude, Miha, listen. Frenzy is kind of like a mini Spectre, okay? There's a lot of value to be found.
More mini Stinger?
Nah, it's a Spectre.
Okay, if you say so.
I do say
I believe it.
Yeah, I call it the Spectre's baby. Spectre Jr.
They're full armored here. And they actually shouldn't be. Little do they know. Because full or half armor, no matter what, you're probably going to be going up against Vandals.
And they're
the
going to be
Vandal will
one-tapped.
always, they could always four-shot you, no matter. And they'll
Exactly.
always one-tap you with a Vandal, no matter. A Vandal up against full armor or half armor will always kill someone in 4 shots to the body. So, I think they could save a bit more economy in these type of bonus rounds especially, but they really want to take no second chances, I guess.
They're like, we like momentum. We take momentum. Momentum is ours. Doesn't matter what weapon we have in hand. And I mean, honestly, ZOL Meraki has done really well when it comes to these ecos, when it comes to the weapon diff situations. Alexi needs to hold her ground. Does she know that there's someone inside of showers? Camille just taking her time here. You have to look to the right.
What she has to do, if anything, is not peek. Just wait. You don't have to search for the peek here. It's not going to favor you. You've given
she
yourself
knows now.
away. It does keep the defense here, but they know it's a chamber, so now they know to lurk on. Go! Best! What a huge pick! They line up for her! They knock him down like dominoes!
Just
Spike planted.
Spectre is all that she needs. That's how confident they've been. 30 HP left.
Blinded.
Armor shredded out, but that's all she needs. Twirly, prepping that flash. Location revealed. They know exactly where both of them are. And Shirazi, she runs forward. Can she get one? Yes, she does. Gets a trade. Can she get two is the question.
Oh, no.
No, she doesn't. She empties her clip there.
Teleport's ready.
Has to get that reset. There's only 2 left of them. And Shirazi,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do here? Because you can
Alex.
either go for the save, but
Oh.
she chooses to take the fight. 9 HP left. Can she get out of this alive? She gets 2 of them, and now she says, I think that's enough damage done. And I will now go forward.
Yeah, that's a round conceded. Alexi was too far removed from the situation to even be in that fight, even be in that post-plant retake. And Bess, absolutely huge entry frag. I can't really stress how much that was, and considering the fact that that really just went so well, because when you saw the chamber here is all on Cameo lurking towards that showers, what she should have done was waited for that presence to be made on Hookah by ZOL towards that B site, which is going to pull the defense now, which is going to force Alexi to get off of that corner, and then Cameo could punish her. But it doesn't even come to that, because somehow, some way, Bess finds a way to line up 2 and knock him down.
Bess is honestly surprising me. The whole of ZOL Meraki is surprising me, because sometimes you think that Bren Victress has the upper hand in the beginning of the round, but somewhere during half of the round, Miha pops off, Bess pops off, Rosie pops off, Camille with those really great opening shots, and Capricious is just so good with following up with her utilities. And these are all in situations that you cannot expect it to happen, because sometimes you have all of this advantage, but ZOL Meraki says, when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade.
What if they give you oranges, Tosh?
And you make orange juice.
Orange-nade?
I don't know what
That's a
orange
paint shell.
That's a what?
That's a paint shell. Orange-nade, okay? Yeah. It's an orange grenade. Anyway, ZOL Meraki. They have the orbital strike now to really press the issue if in case it does get dicey. Stinger is out. Sheriff on Ali. She's been really proficient with that. They're going to have to make the most of what they've got. Yeah, I mean, they know they have the advantage here. Look at that. They take the control of CT all the way. They can even gain Heaven. This is really difficult now for Bren Victress.
Ooh, just walk over that. Does get one flash, but doesn't really matter when your gun gift Kamiyu with a 3 insane flicks from her. She is absolutely on form. She can taste brilliant at the tip of her tongue. Regardless, Shirazi does trade out. And this defuse comes through. But is it enough? Shirazi in a 1 versus 2!
Take a break, guys.
But Shirazi's 4K is not enough to win the round.
Unfortunate, but still, you can see the valiant effort here. Shirazi just trying to will them into the win. Wallbang taps away, double tap and finds 3 to save the day here. Unfortunate for Shirazi, just the time and the position would not favor her in that case. And the trade immediately from Bess, utilizing her teammate to be able to gain that advantage. Now Bren Victress, very important round here, Tosh. I cannot even overstate the importance of this round for Bren. They need to take this. If ZOL get 11th, this is very dangerous. Warriors are going to be in. Bess finds one.
God, no!
But traded out. Perfect flash here from Capricious.
I am so shocked that she got away with that regardless. The sprays come through. Zini does find Capricious in the end.
Wow.
Shirazi still holding onto A main. But the smokes are not giving her any way to see onto main. She does hear all of the cues. But in this situation, what can you do when all you have is just a tour de force? Rosie is not afraid to just cross, and now Shirazi finds Kamiyu. That's a great opening shot for her. They have the man advantage, but can they contain the lead? Miha just playing inside of showers, doesn't have to overextend if she has to, can just buy time. But look at this push coming through. Shirazi just waiting for it to end, and the swing! Zini gets Miha, Shirazi gets one, and the diffuse comes through, and Bren Victress yanks the rope back into their favor.
Bren Victress, great response. It seems like it almost slipped there from the mind of Kamiyu that, hey, heaven's open, they have tour de force, be wary of that angle. Rightfully so. Great Punisher coming from Shirazi. She's been spectacular this entire map. Bess, I like the initiative for her to go this and play this angle. I mean, not that she had much real choice, but Capricious trying to go for the punish after she forced out the angle with the aftershock, but Zini was just so good on the help defense there, coming in from hookah, making sure that Alexi could get out safely, and that she did. So really great heads-up play here, and teamwork coming from Bren.
I really like Shirazi's reposition as well. Just the whole team off guard, so at least they know there's one person, at least near teleport. Now look how fast they're just running straight onto the B site here. Here comes the showstopper. Can she get any value out of it? Where is everyone, she says. Can't find them. Does not get value. And Kamiyu with the plant. And look who's stuck outside. Here comes the orbital strike as well. But does it get value is the question. No, it doesn't. Everyone still on 100% health. Miha finds Ali. Not before Shirazi does find a pick of her own. Capricious swings out there. And Alexi gets one inside. But Rosie with 2. And ZOL says, even though you yank it back, we will just take it. Our, I would say, confidence is just a little bit on high right now.
You know, when questioned before this tournament even started, here for ZOL, they were asked which team do they consider their rivals, and they said Bren. This is a team that has set out to try and take that top spot of being the #1 Philippine team away from what they consider their rivals, and this is a real good matchup for ZOL. If anything, this is one of the best teams against Bren Victress as of recent, and they have been really proving that here right now. And look at Miha, the way she just pushed out on the CT there.
They're chasing.
That was crazy. Yeah, they have to. They have to right now.
On the other side, the problem is they stack one site, and immediately you see ZOL running, making a beeline onto B site. They should not be giving them the site for free. Rosie, despite 25 HP, do they even mind? Ooh, does get tagged by the Trailblazer. Here comes the Prowler as well, just to buy some time. She does have Mightfall as well. Do you know that she is right behind that box? Zinni catches Rosie out there with this Frenzy, and it's good enough because 25 HP left. Alexi spots someone out in the smoke with the Stinger, gets an upgrade as well, and Bren Victress, they win the round where they are gun dipped, and this is looking real huge for them as they take back the point, not allowing ZOL to get that match point.
Yeah, Bren Victress, absolutely
Teleport's ready.
impactful round they gain here. One of utmost importance. They could not give up match point. That's going to be so much more difficult because then you don't have a simple cushion. You don't have any threshold for mistakes, for errors to be occurred. But Bren Victress, they might have just bought themselves a lifeline with that round win.
When you look at ZOL and Bren Victress right now, Bren Victress really wants to take back those rounds. But it's like a tug of war where you win one, you lose one, you win one, you lose one. There is an op on Shirazi. You know she's been very sharp on those shots. And Camille has to be careful. Shirazi, she's playing a very aggressive angle here. And she gets punished for dry peeking that.
Good pick off here, coming from Shirazi. Such a menace on that op. A phantom she creates here out of Camu, her opposing chamber. And ZOL, they lose this. That's the eco. Bren cut it down, 11-9. They're going to be even closer. Alexi here, trying to go for the catch. Best able to find one. Alexi does get traded out, though, immediately. And ZOL in a 3v2. They've got the Rolling Thunder to confirm the round if they need to. Ali from the flank.
She got her own Nightfall to use. She has the Haunt as well. Capricious did not get tagged though. I don't know if she is very aware that Capricious is playing for me. Shirazi does find Rosie in the end. Ali using the Prowler just to clear out the area. And here comes Capricious. She has the Rolling Thunder. It tags one, but Shirazi a little bit faster. And that is teamwork done so beautifully.
A bit too late there. And the mistake that Capricious pulled off was that she was too close being on that Rolling Thunder. It's not going to connect if someone is right across that other side of the wall. She has to be further back, maybe towards Long, instead of being within that octagon in the gardens. And ZOL, they get punished heftily for it. That was a round that should have been theirs in the 3v2.
They had the advantage when they were playing in that corner. But I'm really liking the fact that Bren Victress is very proactive. We've seen that. How many times has ZOL Meraki been caught with an ability in hand, in the middle of casting an ult, a utility? So many times. Because of Bren Victress' speed and knowing where exactly each player is, they know how exactly to react to these sound cues.
I mean, a flash would have been better there. Anything, really, but the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, it does take a while to pull back your weapon as well.
Yeah, especially up close like that. It's really a hazardous scenario to put yourself in. ZOL, their lead squandered here as Bren Victress. Fiery comeback, they're looking alive ever more so. The timeout here, trying to compose the nerves of ZOL. It's Bren who are out of timeouts, but their ice-cold veins have proven to come out on top in these type of situations. Can they pull off another great comeback?
It's not too far in terms of points when you think about it. 9-11. 3 rounds is all they need to catch up. Regardless, this does go to an overtime. I can expect a very long overtime between these two teams. The way they play each round looks like they're both favoring the attack side instead of defense. Regardless, Zinni, she loves playing these aggressive corners. I'm really hoping that she does find a friend at least to trade out with her. But she's gonna be found out here. That's shot out from the other side. They know exactly that there's at least 2 people in there. Best not able to find that corner. Smokes in front. Immediately gonna be jumping away. Thankfully, no one gets tagged by the pain shells.
Smoke's down.
Able to back on. Hears it coming and pushes herself back out to safety. Look at all these smokes that Alexi's utilizing in her advantage from high up above. Gets a second. This round is done. Bren Victress. They should be able to cut the lead right here, right now. 50 seconds left remaining. And Rosie, she's down low as well.
It's a situation where Alexi's positioning on top of the smokes possibly is used against them. Ali, she knows there's at least one inside of showers. All she has to do is not show off her
30 seconds
positioning. Thankfully, that Molly's not hitting her, but Rosie's the one who finds her instead. What a reaction! Lexi's still waiting for time. You do hear the sound of an almost plant as Rosie is trying to figure out where exactly they're at. But does she realize that from lamps, here comes Alexi catching her from the other side? And Alexi, even with 6 bullets, doesn't really matter as Shirazi seals the round with an off shot.
Almost looked dicey, but secured by Bren in the end. 11-10, their lead. It's been cut into, and now they have the benefit. After closing this gap of potentially closing the map out as well on their favored side, the defense here is that side that most teams would prefer in the second half, and they've got that in their benefit.
Spike down
It's
A.
been looking really good. Seeing these off angles played by Alexi, I'm getting a lot of value. I'm still in awe at how much value ZOL has been getting with the frenzies, with the sheriffs. It's never really a situation where it's a full-on, full-on loss when they are going against a thrifty round. But this time ZOL trying to find a way inside of the site. Not sure what they have in mind, but they've had significant success on attack. Much more so than Bren Victress.
Bring them down.
Attacking side of theirs, it's been proven to be deadly, formidable even. But Bren Victress, they're the current queens of the Philippine scene here. For Valorant, it's not a crown, nor a title, nor a throne they're looking to give up here today. Not just yet, not versus this ZOL team. Bess, it's a good angle to try and contest with, but it's also one that's quite committed, so let's be careful with what she's playing with here. Flash out, she actually dodges it, so they don't really know that someone's within that hookah. With this presence being made here towards A, that's going to pull the defense, and Bess is in the right position to catch it off. That's exactly what you need to do on alert. Catch off the rotate.
So good. Play those off angles, taking a leaf out of Alexi's book, and how getting the plant here. That off shot does not land. Shirazi has no clue where to look or see. But you do hear the showstopper come through as Bess and Alexi will cancel each other out. Ellie, are you sure that you want to do that? Rosie still wins in the end. Shirazi ended up, but Mia and Kamiyu get one each. And ZOL Meraki bring it to 12. Can Victress bring this to an overtime?
Last final buy. High impact ultimates here though for both sides. Both of them has got that orbital strike. Nightfall out for ZOL with the showstopper as well. Victress, they've got the Seekers to utilize here. Tour de Force not going to be bought up by Bren Victress just yet. They could pop it before the round starts, but I think they're planning to potentially save that for the next round if it comes to it. Nope, they pull it out here right now.
They need to stop this. They need to stop them from getting match point. They really want to go to Berlin. They want to take this fight against Alter Ego next. Regardless, they will be okay with giving up hookah at least. They have bought enough time. There's no need to wait inside.
No, it's not really
She's there.
an easy task to be going up against Alter Ego after this series still anyways. Alexi, great paint shell there to force him back. Here comes out the orbital strike though from Bren's defense to try and keep them at bay. But the counter orbital strike is huge from ZOL. Mia finds one. They're melting. The showstopper coming in big to get the space, and only Twirly's able to respond. Rosie down low. Then she takes down Ali as well. All is on the shoulders here of Shirazi. Bren Victress on the cusp of elimination. He finds a one. Shirazi 1v3. Bess is low. If she can isolate the fight, this is still doable, but she doesn't have much utility to force that.
There's a lot of things that goes through her mind, but Bess is not allowing her to do that. As we have our winner for this lower bracket round, ZOL Meraki, overtaking Bren Victress.
ZOL Meraki in the blitz, in really throwing everybody's kind of, I guess, expectations here off guard. They take down the current queens here and taking their throne for them. Game Changers APAC has never been more exciting, as ZOL Meraki simply just proven today that they showed up to play, and what a turnaround for this roster it has been. Their honeymoon, it's looking pretty nice and sweet.
I have to say that ZOL Meraki, one of the teams that I think has learned and matured so fast since coming together, and has been catching me off guard. Seeing Camille with those opening picks has been huge. Bess as well. On top of that, we saw recoveries coming in from Bren Victress, but every time Bren Victress think they can run away with the momentum, ZOL Meraki just comes back on top. Regardless though, let's have a look at Mika and Jem to see what exactly they think of that match.
Well, Donut, I gotta ask you, at the very top of VCT Game Changers, APAC Elite, where would you have ranked ZOL Meraki?
I actually would have ranked them the same way, as in like how this started. I am actually very speechless, but now they are at top 3, and we didn't really expect this. This is the script. As mentioned by Nico, we just have to throw it away.
Throw it away.
But yeah,
We're going to
because
get highlights,
anything
but
that
we
we
can hear you
predicted
crumble it.
here, yeah, I mean, whatever that we're expecting now, everything is an upset from now on. It started early in the morning. Now we're going through the night, still not being able to get what we predicted.
Exactly, and now ZOL Meraki are going up against Alter Ego Celeste for that second slot into the grand finals. Right after ZOL Meraki come from this match against Bren Victress. And it's ironic because last week ZOL Meraki were in the exact same position. They went again on a marathon run going up against all of these teams, and they came out on top. And the thing that we now know about them is that under pressure, they actually get better and better. Just look at what happened on their attacking round against Bren.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's really what Meraki means, right? In Greek, it is translated as a labor of love. So basically, Meraki just really, yeah, I mean, the journey that they've gone through all throughout the stages just reaped. And this is what their harvest is. It's 3rd place here in this APAC Elite run. And we really have to celebrate the ladies of ZOL Meraki. Miha, she started out as a new player from another FPS game, but ever since then she's practiced all throughout. Every night she scrims with her teammates, and this is what the result is. Miha as the MVP, 16 first kills goes to the side of ZOL Meraki, and that's really the big difference, right? It is a push and pull, it is a seesaw battle, but at the end of the day, the weight just really goes to ZOL Meraki's favor.
And we still, of course, major props to Bren Victress. They really gave it their all. And they are definitely still one of the strongest teams in the APAC region here. I mean, they're one of the most aggressive teams. I think we can remember them for that, for how amazingly they took their early matches, last weekend, and against ZOL Meraki as well. They're definitely one of the top performers that we have here at APAC Elite. Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to them, but I think these ladies can be very, very proud of what they've accomplished so far, and in such a short span of time. For ZOL Meraki, though, literally in such a short span of time have they changed from being the wild card to suddenly being one of the powerhouses here at Game Changers. I'm just still so amazed at how
I don't know if
this
it's
team
the
can
coffee.
improve. I know
I don't know if it's the coffee or it's just really me shaking, because it isn't really how we imagined it to be. Initially, it's either a loss for either one, a 2-0, but even the last map, right, it was so close. And at the end of it, ZOL Meraki's performance is quite equal per individual. You would really have to say it's like an Oprah show, right? You get a kill, you get a kill, you all get kills.
Everybody
and the
gets
value of the utility is seen all throughout the whole matchup. And yeah, up until now, I'm still speechless.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All of these ladies, you have Capricious, Camille, Miha, Bess, and Rosie, they all had their moments throughout this series. And guess what? They're gonna have even more because they're going up against Alter Ego Celeste. They're not done yet. And this is the exact same scenario that happened last week. They did have to do a marathon run as well. And that is exactly the kind of pressure and the kind of endurance that got them through this stage. So suddenly, when we post the question, can ZOL Meraki make it to grand finals? Oh, it's a big question mark right now. Suddenly it's like, yes, they can.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
a decisive yes, at least with what we've seen earlier on against Bren Victress. They were the constant number two. I would have to say Bren Victress all throughout the run in the stages. They had a grand finals match against AE Celeste, and ZOL Meraki came in during taking the slot there in wildcard or in overtime. So that really goes to show that even if they are a wild card, they can go wild with these plays. They can also be very determined when it comes to the climb. Right, I would really have to say their journey in here in APAC Elite is really a steep. Sometimes they do have that time to take a breather, and then at the end of it, they're close to the summit.
Yeah, very, very close indeed. Just a couple of matches away, in fact. But let's bring on, I believe we have Capricious from Zomeraki ready for an interview so we can congratulate them ourselves and then send them off, of course, because they've got to get ready for another match. Capricious, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome
Hello.
and congratulations to you guys. Your run has pretty much been nothing short of amazing, ladies. Can you let us know how you guys were able to keep your cool through this series, especially since all of the maps, all of the rounds even were very, very close?
On our first game, we got a comeback again, right, on Ascent. And at first, we didn't know what to do, but like, I don't know what happened. Stop. I know what happened, but like, we were just laughing. I don't know why we were laughing, but I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm sorry, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to say.
So you guys are feeling good and definitely
Yeah,
carried
feeling
over to your performance.
Yeah.
That's nice to know. Donut?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Ascent, right? And you guys were feeling good about your performance. Let's talk about Breeze for a little bit. It is Brand's map pick, but did you expect them to win this, or what type of strats did you have prepared for that specific map?
Honestly, we knew what are they gonna do, but um, we failed to counter it. That's it. But we knew what they were gonna do, and
And
I don't know
now
we
you
wanted to
guys
fight. Yeah, that map.
Oh, we can definitely tell that. We can definitely tell that you
Yeah.
guys wanted to fight today. Now, you guys aren't done just yet. You're going up against Alter Ego Celeste, and this is the second time that you've managed to have like several series in a row. Can you let us know how you're able to, how are you able to prepare for like several series in a row? How do you keep up with the endurance?
We always have two sets of screams with MR24, so it's not that tiring, honestly.
Okay, so it's nothing
I
new
think we
to
get
you
used to it.
guys. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the endurance is there and the resiliency is there, Capricious. I do have like a question for you, right? With this new team now, do you think it's looking better? What do you think do you have to prepare for against your next match for AE Celeste?
Um, honestly, I don't know. We didn't prepare for it. We didn't even know we're gonna. We didn't even know we're gonna come here. We didn't even know we're gonna get the top three. I'm sorry.
Well,
Well, at least
congratulations.
congratulations and say hi to Miha for me. She's right
Hi,
behind
Del.
you.
Donut. She likes you. She likes
Hello.
you.
Aww. So much love all around. Congratulations, Capricious. We won't take too much of your time because we know that you have to prepare for another banger of a series. So we'll leave you guys to it. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Donut! I have no idea
That's
how
so
these ladies
cute.
do it. They
I don't
are
know
they're
the
so cute.
endurance, and then second, not expecting to win at all. Them just going all out, pouring their hearts out in the game, and coming out on top against the top team in the Philippines. That's just such a feat. So that's why even if we ask them questions, they don't really know what happened, and they're still overwhelmed. I can really see it in Capricious' eyes.
Yeah, yeah, and now they just have to take it one step at a time because they're gonna take a few steps closer. They're going up against Alter Ego Celeste next, and hopefully up against X10 Sapphire. Who knows? So we're gonna find out what happens right after this quick break.